750.
Wow. Let's go.
That is if you believe in the concept of time.
Untamed. Wake up.
First guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Wake up, 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 wake up. Wake up, 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 wake up. We better wake up from this dream. Life is not what it seems.
Shout out to
Sherman
Sherman Wells.
You better unplug or be a casualty. Cause the life that we lose in the drug and improving is keeping us off from our greatness. We gotta spread the love and stop hating. Then rearrange these front pages. From murder and death to building our wealth. We moving in stealth. Milking the
Check 1 2 1 2.
and teaching my people to love themselves. I'm crashing on competition. That's an interference with the fucking mission. Man, we tired of listening, so we standing up. Unification.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Time to wake up,
check.
wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
First guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Man, Sherman always wakes me up with that song for real.
Man, wake up, wake up. Gave us the blessing on Monday.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. That's what's up. Appreciate that. Appreciate that visit of his, man. That was
Man.
epic.
Man. Whole episode was good. It was a good episode.
Really was. Really
Yeah,
was.
Had a surprise guest. Yeah, went well.
Speaking of which, we're going to speak more from that surprise guest that happened because she's coming on today. Tamika Meese
Yeah.
will be on a special guest today, so stay tuned for her. And just want to say hello to everybody this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Appreciate you coming on in early. You know, we start at 7:00 with a hard start for the news, so we want to come in a little bit early to give our hellos and how you doings to the First Sky fam. So hello,
Hey.
how you doing?
Hello. Mama God coming through.
Yeah, she said, wake up, and good morning. I heard that.
Yeah. It says my alerts on point. I am number one in the house. Yeah. The first coming through. So welcome. And yeah. Reminding us, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, get notified when we come on. So you ain't guessing.
Please do. Judy Prinzel gives us a good morning, First Sky fam. Good morning to you. Appreciate you. And also, Black Dynamite is in early today. So good morning, y'all. We're halfway there. Yep.
Yeah, man.
It's hump day.
Hump day.
Yes.
Yeah, again, little Women's Wednesday coming through with our guest. Speaking of Women's Wednesdays and hump day, Pop's coming through. Good morning, Mr. Allen.
Pop's favorite day. Say good Wednesday morning, Mad Love from Las Vegas. Appreciate that. Marlon Harrison in the chat. Good morning, First Sky fam. He's fired up.
Okay.
What's going on in Benson football? Appreciate everybody that's put stuff in Friends of First Sky Omaha. So yeah, man, shout out to Marlon Harrison for adding some articles this week. Appreciate that.
Man, yeah. Everybody's posting in Friends of. It's coming along. So big thank you to everybody who's, part of the fam.
Yep.
Chat chimers.
What's going on? How you doing, buddy? How you feeling over there?
I'm feeling good. Feeling rested. Was kind of anticipating today's show for some reason. Like, I'm always excited and looking forward to these shows, but couldn't sleep, kept waking up like, is it time, like feeling like I was going, almost like the first day of school type feeling, like am I late Oh no, it's still 2 hours early. So yeah. I don't know what the anticipation is about. Definitely looking forward to speaking with our guest a little later on, Sister Tamika coming through, so excited about that. Yeah, just doing the thing.
Okay.
How about you, man? How's it going in your world?
Yeah, it's a little chilly out here this morning. A little chilly out here for me this morning. So yeah, no, that doesn't feel good to me to think that it's gonna start getting cold.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm okay. Just on the grind. I was just telling somebody yesterday about what First Sky Omaha got going on is that we're in the midst of a plan. And we just kind of are on that road right now, head down, grinding on the plan, a little bit at a time. You can't always step up and look at the big picture. Kind of got to put your head down and grind on some stuff. So we're there. The plan is good, and we're just grinding on it to try to get to the next level. And we're seeing some progress, seeing anticipating when things really break, and when we start some new projects and all that good stuff. So. Right now, though, it's everybody's really chiming up about election season because we're less than a month away from the day. It's going down in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks. We gonna know whether we got Trump as a president again. So I think people
Had to peek at the calendar real quick.
Yeah, man.
It's coming up.
What we got? Like 3 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. Some people have already voted. So again, if you
Yeah,
already did the duty,
I heard Georgia came out real tough for the early voting.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's what's up. That's
it's
what's up.
jumping off. I'm seeing the signs everywhere. I'm seeing them.
Yeah. Mama Guy says my early morning crew share the show to invite our folks to join the convo. That's what's up. Yeah,
Yeah,
please
yeah.
do. Please
Tell a
do.
friend to tell a friend.
Yeah.
Always helps what we're doing here. Spread the word of mouth. I'm a firm believer in word of mouth and the power of telling a friend.
There you go. That's because that's I think that might be because you're from Omaha. Omaha is strong with the word of mouth
Yeah, yeah.
more than any place I ever lived. So,
Really?
oh my God, yeah,
And you
there's
lived a few places, really?
yeah, bro. That's yeah, man. Word of mouth in California means that you already there's a chosen few that's in a certain scene that you're your network. You know what I'm saying? Out here, it
Hmm.
feels like it's the like word of mouth means it's gonna get to the whole city, which is
Yeah,
way
I
different.
mean, but kind of to Sister Tamika's point, she mentioned it on Monday, just how connected the city is. Like the
That's what
degrees
I
of
mean.
separation is kind of crazy. You know what I mean?
That's
You
what I
either
mean.
somebody's cousin or your cousin is married to somebody's cousin.
Right. So that's what I mean. That's I can see how word of mouth is a thing that everybody's kind of just intrinsically understanding that it happens here in a big way, man. Because that's what it is. It's what it is here. It's a different scene for sure. So I'm with it. Realms Reviews in the chat says 50th anniversary of the Equality in Lending Act allowed women and others to open credit accounts without having to be married. 50th,
Okay.
50th anniversary. Okay. Don't say it too loud. They might come in here and try to take that away too.
Might be already working on it. You never
Yeah.
know.
Mark Maddox gives us a good morning. Appreciate you coming in early as well. Marlon Harris says 30 degrees right now, bro. I know, man. That's what I'm
Man,
saying.
the
Come on
first
here.
frost
Come
of the
over here
year.
cussing at me early in the day. He said, time to break out the winter coats. That's real. That's real, man.
Mhm, yeah. I
That's
mean, but
real.
knowing Omaha, it'd be 100 this weekend. Man, yeah, you never know, man.
Yeah,
Never know. But yeah, be careful out there.
for real, man. Brother Pena's in the chat. I haven't seen that name for a minute. Buenos dias. Good morning. Good morning to you. Christy Nor gives us a good morning. Appreciate you guys coming in early. Really appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hello, how
same
you
here.
doing?
Hello.
Matthew Miller Jenkins gives us a good morning. Appreciate you coming through. Again, we if you're just joining us, we start that hard 7 o'clock news. So we like to come in a little early just because the fam is the fam. We like to say hello,
Yeah.
see how you guys are doing. What's going on in your world? How's your hump day going?
Yeah.
How are things
What's new?
happening? Yeah, what's good with you? What's good
Yeah.
with
Anybody watching any sports? Anybody any new films? Did anybody check out that Francis Ford Coppola film yet?
you? Haven't been out, man. Still haven't been. I'm trying to get to that
Man,
before
yeah.
it
I
leaves
seen a
IMAX.
couple trailers. Looks all right. Looks all right. But yeah, what's new? Any art? What's going on with y'all? Let us know. Let us know.
Very good question. Very good question. A friend of mine out in New York got to go see Robert Glasper and them over at Blue Note last week.
Man, okay,
And
okay.
everybody was in there, bro. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, you know what I'm saying? Most Def, you know what I'm saying? The Roots played. The Roots was the backing band. Like, yeah, bro. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, man.
Gotta get out there to New York, man. I never been. Never been. Gotta get out there to New York.
Homegirl said Dave Chappelle was blowing smoke in her face all night long. She was like, "Look, you got to stop all that." He, he was very apologetic, and he paid for everybody's food and drinks and stuff at that
Okay.
table. Yeah, I was like, man, I should have been there.
Yeah, yeah. Man, now that you mention it, he did kind of smoke a whole pack of cigarettes when he came
Uh,
when he came for his show in Omaha.
I figure out how the venues just letting him do it when it's illegal
Man,
everywhere.
man. I mean, I don't know. Some artists wasn't Cypress Hill smoking at the Steel House
I mean,
getting down.
not like that though. Not
Oh,
like
okay,
Dave
okay.
Chappelle just standing there with a joint. It wasn't like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Man.
Speaking of Cypress Hill, Michelle Moreno in the chat. Good morning. Good morning. Good
Hey.
morning. Yep, I got to meet her in person at the concert. So shout out to you for coming to that. Mama God says, "Don't peek, buddy. Georgia in the mix, Nebraska, and I am not telling you how to vote, but please look into all the delegates, local and national, and vote for long term. We have to adjust to the long game because there is strong coalition to set us back to pre-rights era, no matter how unfair you think it might be right now." That's what I'm saying.
Man.
They trying to take it back in a big way, in a big
Thank
way.
you.
But we trying to take it up because it's now
Hey.
7 o'clock right now. If you believe in the concept of time, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Fresh edition happening now.
Going up on a Wednesday.
Hey. Good morning. Get ready to chime in for a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B.
Paul B.
He's buddy to God. And you are the chat chimers. We appreciate everybody who's chimed into the chat this morning, came in early. Do us a favor, share the show on your page. We can get as many people in on the conversation as possible. And we really appreciate that. Also, shout out to the ghost listeners who just tuned in to see what's going on and then spread the word. We appreciate you as well. And also the monitoring spirits.
Man.
Who we understand are also checking us out.
Yeah.
Because we see it in some of the posts and some of the things that you do. We watching too.
Mm-hmm. Watching us watch you.
That's right. So I appreciate that. It is Wednesday, the 16th of October. We got a special guest coming in today. Tamika Meese is here. If you remember, she came on impromptu on Monday, and she's going to come in, and we're going to be able to speak to her a little bit more about the work that she's doing around town as well. Very important piece of the puzzle when it comes to support in Omaha, Nebraska, in a big way. So we appreciate her coming back and anticipate talking to her. So stay tuned for that. We got news, of course, headlines, things that are going on. We appreciate everybody that's put news articles in Friends of First Sky Omaha. It's where the conversation kind of continues when we're not live. I see comments picking up over there as well, so we appreciate that. I know that this is the climate here is real fiery right now because of being 3 weeks away from the election, less than 3 weeks, and so lots of I appreciate everybody who is also in Friends of First Sky Omaha, keeping things respectful as well, because like I said, that's where the conversation continues. So just want to send my appreciation out to everybody that helps support this endeavor that we have here, this community outreach that we're doing on Mondays and Wednesdays. And I also highly encourage you to sign up to the weekly rap newsletter if you have not done that. We'll talk about that a little bit later on the show, but we do have a newsletter that drops on Friday, and we'll get you the link so you can go ahead and sign up if you haven't already. In the meantime, between time, I see some more people coming through this morning. I see Miss Erica Felt coming through. Appreciate that. RG says, morning, y'all ain't ready for 32 temps like we got right now.
Man.
I'm not ready. I can't do it. Heat on. Heat is already on. Smelling funny. That's what it is. So
actually, to that point, I didn't want to skip over Mayor Sanchez's comment. He says, "Don't wait to turn on your furnace. Might be working, or it says might not be working now, and then you'll need it and don't know." So as things kind of dip off, man, we kind of had an issue here. Like, woke up the other day, furnace was making like a high pitched rattling sound. You dealing with gas and fire, had to turn it off real quick. It was without heat for about a good 24 48 hours, but had to fixed it, got it going.
That's what's up. That's why I live in an apartment. I'm gonna call them up. Y'all better come fix this heater. Start burning furniture in the living room in a minute.
Man,
cold. Magic Miller Jenkins says first frost means it's time to pick apples. That's what's up.
Okay.
I did some research one time on the agriculture out here, and apple trees are a good thing to plant in Omaha because the climate they can deal with the frost and all that. So
grew up with apple and pear trees and grapes. Grapevine.
Don't say that too loud. Pops might be moving out here after all. What? Y'all growing grapes?
Stepping on some wine?
Oh no, he's a grape connoisseur. He don't even drink wine. He just eats grapes.
Okay.
Pops is the biggest grape. He eats more grapes than anybody I ever met in my life. That's his favorite fruit, and he always got some grapes on deck.
Okay.
So, that's what's up. Appreciate
living
that.
in the right place.
That's right. Let's go ahead and get on to it. We got some community news to jump into, so just Just yeah, Miss Erica Phelps said, just turn on the heat. It smells like burnt dust in here. Yeah, that's why I
I
said,
mean, let's start there though. Let's start there. Although this is, we try to save our community news for stories that aren't in the headlines. This is making headlines, but it's
yeah,
definitely something we should be aware of as far as the first frost because yeah, this is dropping off, man. It was just 90 or something in Omaha, and
yeah.
here we are. Here we
Here
are.
we go.
Yeah, yes, it has begun.
It didn't drop off. It fell off.
Man, that part. So yeah, yeah, remind yourselves, weatherize your house, have the blankets in the car, make sure if you got a portable battery charger, because once it starts, man, that's one thing I definitely know. Once it start cooling off in the Omaha Metro, the car gets the worst of it, man.
Yeah,
Tires going flat, don't want to start. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You you
You got
know, you know what I'm talking about, Paul.
some raggedy car trauma going on there, bro.
PTSD. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So again, yeah, prepare yourselves. It's getting
Yeah,
cold out there. Turn on the furnace. Make sure everything is ready for the winter. Cause
yeah.
yeah, you know how it gets. You know how it gets. So
Some of y'all got to turn the pilot light on. Some of y'all got to
man,
change the filter out. All that
all
stuff.
that, all that, all
Yeah,
that. So
some of
yeah.
us got to call the front desk. Come clean this.
uh, get on top of it. Get on top of
Right.
it. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, at either rate, man, keep it warm out there, y'all. Keep it warm. Keep it warm. But also in other news, definitely want to give a shout out to those who have already followed us on Fanbase. For those of you who don't know about Fanbase, yeah, First Guy Omaha on Fanbase. Shout out to the whole crew behind Fanbase. Again, black owned
Yeah, bro.
social media site, and trying
Isaac
to
Isaac Hayes the third is
yeah,
running
man. When
Invention.
he's not suing Trump, he's running a social media running a social media site, man. And they're actually trying to do some different things. A lot of the time we talk about fighting the algorithm and kind of getting around this whole AI driven social media. And it looks like brother Isaac Hayes the third is trying to do some different things and not throttling people's followers. If you have 1,000 or so followers, then 1,000 or so people will see your posts, which usually isn't the case on the likes of Instagram and Facebook and even TikTok. Even TikTok, they have some weird things about what they do with their algorithm. So again, try some different things. If you're a creator, a content creator, shout out to all of our content creator campers out there. There's an opportunity to make some funds as well. So yeah, check out Fanbase, man. It's coming, it's growing, and this is the opportunity to get ahead of something.
Now, I will say, check out Fanbase.
Yes.
Fanbase don't have all the things that some of these other social media platforms have quite yet.
Mhm.
It's not quite ready.
A few.
But I will say, it's there's a couple opportunities here with Fanbase as well, because you can also still invest in Fanbase
That part.
and be a owner and have some ownership in a black owned social media giant that is rivaling everybody. And they can do a lot of what everybody else does. Twitter, they even have the audio situation on there too, where you can just like do a channel. And then of course it's a feed just like Facebook and Instagram and all that as well. So they're still building there, but I would say definitely check it out. I saw some chatter on Friends of yesterday, so I wouldn't necessarily start just dumping everything and jumping over to fan base. It's not quite ready
Hmm.
for that. Like we couldn't do a live show on fan base quite yet.
Not yet.
So, but I would say, yeah, I'm trying. I'm hitting friends and family first and being like my real kind of stuff that I want to talk about. You can go over to fan base and check out because like I said, man, we should be supporting the black owned social media giant that's really rivaling Facebook and everybody else. So that's my
Yeah.
spiel on that.
Yeah, and to that point, Mama got in the chat saying fan base reaching out for investors. To like Paul is saying, how often, man, how would your life? Where would your life be if you could have gotten invested in Twitter or invested in Facebook? Or some of these other tech giants. So hey, look into it. Look into it. It's happening, and First Sky is there, man. In other news, we kind of talked about this a little bit. Shout out to Mr. K's Clubhouse. He has his Xmas party, his Christmas party coming up. So again, big shout out to Mr. K's magical Christmas party. Registration is open. He already has a few sponsors on deck. But again, if you're a vendor, if you're someone who creates products and things and services for the family, you might want to tap in. Mr. K is going for it, man. So yeah, support not just a brother in the community that's trying to do something positive, but he's taking the babies along with him. So support the babies as well. They're doing their thing, acting, getting it in.
Mhm. Getting it in. Check him out. He's got a new movie that just dropped on YouTube. So go to
Yeah,
Mr. K's Clubhouse on YouTube and check out his movie as well.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my brother Karan, man. I actually, kind of hung out with him growing up, and just to see where he's going with it. He's somebody who his grandmother ran a child care facility. He, wore the Barney costumes at all the parties. Like he does this. He does this. So man,
Okay.
I'm proud of my guy Karan, man. Shout out.
So
Also, speaking of child care, Miss Erica Feld in the chat says the Play Schoolhouse is a proud sponsor of the Christmas party as well. So it's already a part of the fam, man. So y'all just tap in, man. Tap in.
yep. And while we're
Uh,
at it, shout out to Sunita Budai, who is a
yeah,
friend of
yeah,
ours
yeah.
from Omaha too. She's been in the news lately with her early learning center. So yeah, man, shout out to her on getting a little recognition there too. And shout out to you, Miss Erica Felt, for posting that.
Yeah.
I thought that was real cool. It's like look at our community of child care providers supporting each other. That's what's up.
Man, coming together. Don't want to leave out Sister Gwen Easter either.
There you
Shout out
go.
to all the ladies doing the things, doing the
What's up?
things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But keeping it moving, man. I do want to give a shout out also to brother Marlon Harrison, keeping us on top of what's going on in our schools. And this is definitely something that's not making headlines, but something that we should be talking about here in the community as far as Benson and their football program. I know, Paul, you're not too much about the sports, but this is definitely something that is impacting, young people's lives. I'm sure there's some young men and even women that are joining these programs, these athletic programs, hoping to put together tape, put together a resume, maybe make it to the next level of college and things like that, maybe even the pros, and opportunity stripped away. Again, Benson is basically canceled their last couple of games because the number of players doesn't meet the requirements, and it's actually kind of dangerous for some of the players. So again, if you are a Benson Bunny or you're a supporter of that community, you have children that go to that school, or if you're, that's your alma mater, they need support, they need help. So again, shout out to the Benson Bunnies and their football program.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not
juggling.
too much in the sports, but that sounds like something troubling to me. Like you're not used to hearing news about football games getting shut down in high school. Like what's going
Yeah,
on? You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and we talk about the role that sports can play to keep some young folk out of trouble, keep them on the right path, and kind of just feels like lost opportunity with this situation. So again, definitely heart and mind goes out to the Benson football program, and hopefully they can get things back on track very soon, very soon.
There you go.
But last but not least, a couple of political things going on. It is voting season, and people are definitely pouring in and drawing attention to Omaha D2, the blue dot, if you will. Andrew Yang recently came through. I think he spoke. Did anybody make it? Yeah, the Free Speech Society special event that was yesterday evening. Did anybody catch that? Again, I do
Last.
know Andrew Yang, of course, ran for president a couple years ago. Although he didn't win, didn't get too far. There was a lot of people excited and kind of impressed with what some of the things that Andrew Yang had to say, some of the points that he made, some of the platforms that he ran on. So yeah, how are we feeling about Andrew Yang, and also taking the time to remind us that there are other candidates aside from Harris and Trump. So we're all about just again keeping it on our minds that it's not just this duopoly as brother Cornell West is calling it.
Yep.
As
Shout
there
out
are,
to brother. Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say shout out to brother Cornell West
Yeah,
coming on the
man.
show and supporting as well, and also Jill Stein, who we spoke to earlier in the year. Definitely go back and check those shows out if you want to see some other candidates that are running
Mhm.
besides Harris and Trump. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Some other options. And also, last but not least, speaking of other options, Dan Osborne looks like he'll be making his way to the north side. There'll be a meet and greet with Dan Osborne at the Jackson Fair Deal Cafe coming up on the Deuce. It's actually,
Mhm.
is that today?
Tonight. Yep.
Yeah, 6 to 7. So again, shout out to Jackson's Fair Deal Cafe, right there in the Fair Deal Village.
24th Street, man. Yeah, he's been in the national news a lot lately, man. And yeah, it's really kind of interesting to hear what's going on with him. So the fact that he's going to be here in the hood and down on the Deuce is pretty interesting. So
Yeah,
I'm anxious to see who comes out and sees what's up with him.
yeah. A lot of times people, especially on the north side, feeling left out about some of these campaigns. Here's your opportunity. Here's your
There you
opportunity.
go.
So there you go for our community updates. A lot of people kind of jumping into the chat, so I appreciate y'all. We see y'all. Sister Kimra coming through. Good morning to you. Paul
Mhm.
B.
Yo,
What's the
yo.
word?
Hey, brother Pena saying Hakeem Jeffries is coming in some platform with Yang views are awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate you bringing his name up too. I've been seeing that name around as well. We need to try to see what's going on. Maggie Mill Jenkins asking, have we tried to get Dan on the show? Yeah, Anthony Rogers Wright reached out. Also, Terrell McKinney reached out, and so yeah, we might be hearing back from him as well. Chrissy North said Jill Stein is a Russian plant. Woo!
Okay.
Yes, you're gonna have
Okay.
to come with some evidence on that one.
Man,
Just coming here blasting us with that. I need the receipts.
man.
But yeah, we appreciate everybody that's coming in and talking about these issues as well as in the community. I love that we kind of start with the community and start talking about what's going on around town as well. So let us know if you've been out to any of these rallies, any of the things going on. We know Ashley Spivey has some door knocking going on coming up. So you can help spread the word with her hashtag Steps with Spivey. This is happening Saturday, October 19th at Benson Park, 2 o'clock. So yeah, there's still some time to support for those of you that go out and help with the campaigns. Yeah, lots going on that too. It's also
Yeah.
Terrell McKinney is also campaigning as well, so you can reach out to his camp too. So it's going to be ramping up here in this next couple weeks
Man.
in a big way. In a
It's the
big
final
way.
stretch. It's the final
Yeah.
stretch. So yeah, definitely stay on top of it. Stay educated as much as you can, and yeah, ask the hard questions while you can. So
There you go. Before we get out of here, real quick to the next piece, I just want to say another
Mhm.
piece of community news. Miss Erica Feld is saying the Play School House also has one full time opening starting in November.
Nice.
So
Okay.
yeah, so just she always lets us know when she's got some openings there. She runs a really great operation, and everybody who can get in should. So yeah, I appreciate you letting us know when you got openings.
Yeah,
That's
jobby job.
Mama Guy said Tim Walls will be here Saturday. I'm telling you, it's ramping up.
Yeah,
Ramping
yeah,
up.
it is. His wife was just here not too long ago. I think last week sometime. So yeah, it's coming. And again, the national attention is being pointed to the blue dot. Actually, for more than one reason. If you want to jump into the
Mhm.
headlines, we're making some North Omaha is making some headlines on national stage. Beyond just the politics, some of the environmental news is also making a national headline. Shout out to Sister Cheryl Weston for making it into the Washington Post.
Yeah, man.
National. Yeah, man, national. Again, the story is still being told and the fight is still being fought over OPPD and shutting down that coal plant in North Omaha. Again, we know that they were scheduled to shut it down in 2023, but now has since kicked the can down the road, and that plant is expected to continue to burn until about 2026. But
Mm.
yet, here we are breathing it in. Again, some of the highest levels of asthma in that area, in the state, really, kind of actually in the nation. So again, definitely that story being told, and shout out to Sister Cheryl Weston for taking it to the national stage. We'll be talking about that here in a second. But in other news, homelessness is on the rise, and looks like a conversation that definitely needs to be had. Several mainstream outlets kind of actually looking at this from different angles. But again, homelessness is on the rise, something that is a result of the housing situation that we've been talking about. Again, affordable housing and what happens when you can't afford the so-called affordable housing. Too many people find themselves ending up on the streets. And again, how does the city respond to that? What does that mean? What does that look like? And what is the solution, more importantly? So I will definitely be talking about that. And then also, speaking of solutions, we know that voting has been a solution or can be a solution if we use it. But what about those brothers and sisters who are formerly incarcerated? Will they be able to vote? Again, that decision is something that is hanging in the balance and may be decided on today. Actually, the Supreme Court is scheduled to make a decision on whether or not, again, formerly incarcerated brothers and sisters will have their right to vote restored. And here we are, just days away from the registration deadline. And Paul, you actually have a strategy that we haven't really leaned into and talked about too much, but I definitely want to get into that as far as, should they register? Shouldn't they register? Should they vote? Shouldn't they vote? We'll definitely be talking about that coming up. Also, Mayor Gene Stothard, aka Mean Gene, is opening up some opportunities for the public to speak. She's actually announced that she will be hosting some annual town halls to give the people again an opportunity to, share what's grinding their gears in regards to the local leadership. So yeah, definitely fewer and far between opportunities for the public to speak their piece. So we're here for it. Again, conversation rules the nation. At least that's what I like to say. So. And also, shout out to Black Votes Matter. They're picking things up as, again, we get closer to election day. Yeah, shout out to Black Votes Matter and the work that they're doing. School choice battle still rages on. Pete Festerson is making an announcement about his race, and also some political sign thieves going on. Did you have your sign, your sign stole out of your yard, man? Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Come on, come on.
Just gonna come jack some signs.
Man, they ain't cover up or nothing. They didn't have no mask or nothing. They just stealing signs, stealing signs. So yeah, we talk about all that and more. Of course, if there's anything that we're not talking about, any headlines that we didn't cover that you feel like we should be covering, this is something that the people should know about. Feel free to drop that into the chat. And yeah, it's relevant. The people respond. We'll talk about it. In the meantime,
Definitely.
between time,
Mhm.
Paul B. What's the
Yep,
word?
yep. We're gonna talk about that and more. So we're gonna take a quick break and come back and get into some news before we get our special guest to come on today. I like what Marlon Harrison is saying in the chat. He says, "Why the monitoring spirits from a local news station saw my post on Friends of First Sky and reached out to me to do a story on the Benson football program."
All right.
I told
Because
you.
they
See, for those of you who don't know what monitoring spirits are,
let them know.
uh,
Let them know.
these are some of the public. These are some of the people that would never admit that they're really paying attention to what it is that we're all talking about over here. But we really are one of the only places where we're talking to you, the public, on a regular basis about stories that they write. They don't even have this much outreach going on
Man,
for their own stories. So they have no choice really but to be paying attention to see what's going on. So shout out to you, the monitoring spirits who would never admit that you watched the show. We appreciate you watching the show anyway and
man,
responding to that because this is what we're here for. We're here to hear from the people on this stuff.
man.
Try that. Try that. Uh, I'm going to get back into the chat here a little bit more before we get to the. Well, actually, no, we're going to take a break and then get to the news so that we can make sure that we have enough time to spend the right amount of time here with our special guest coming in.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for Tamika Meese that's coming through from the NOC, and we'll have a nice conversation with her. And then, of course, the second hour, we will definitely jump more into some conversation as well. So, thanks for everybody that's joining us today and letting us see what's going on in the chat. I love the fact that there's a lot of talk going on in the chat right now, and we'll definitely acknowledge that when we come back. So, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'm Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Stay
Hey.
tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God, all of you,
Hey.
chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, Gwen Easter in the house. Good morning. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate everybody who is in the chat having some discussion, going back and forth. I will definitely get to it. Don't forget a little later on today, Dan Osborne is going to be over at Jackson's Fair Deal Cafe. It's kind of a big deal when any of the candidates come to North Omaha to do a meet and greet.
Man.
Of course, we complain a little bit that they only come around when it's election season, of course, but
That part.
some of them don't even do that. To be real.
True.
So,
True.
he's been in national news, and I saw in the chat Mark Manner said he had breakfast with him one time. Seems to be down to earth. RG is giving him some props too, saying he seems to be a real one. So yeah, pay attention to that. And if you want to learn more about him, go to Jackson Fair Deal on 24th Street tonight at 6 o'clock for a meet and greet. And also, hey, good thing that we're in this realm right now to be able to kind of get to know these folks before they get
Yeah.
get the votes. Anthony Rogers, right? I see you in the chat. Definitely want to dive into some of the things you're talking about, but we're going to dive into some stories first. But I just wanted to say, I know that you're out of the country in the moment, so be safe. Love to hear back from you what's going on firsthand.
Man.
I know that you're a reporter as well, so yeah, I can't wait to hear about what your adventures as well. And I appreciate you tuning in this morning. I don't know what time it is where you're at, but I appreciate you getting up and
Man.
coming on in, and we'll definitely dive in.
Yeah.
So that's what's up. In the meantime, between time, what's first on the agenda, buddy?
Well, we put out a survey, put out a call on the weekly wrap as far as what news people would like to see. And a lot of people did respond with some environmental news. So I want to kick off with some environmental news and also give a shout out. This is kind of part of the reason why we do the community updates as well. News that is important in our community, important to us, and sometimes it doesn't make the mainstream news locally, but this is actually making national headlines. So definitely shout out to a friend of First Sky, our sister Cheryl Weston, who again made it into the Washington Post. I mean, that's huge. Washington Post is definitely a legendary, iconic publication,
Mm.
and again, they felt that it was necessary to spend some of their space on what's going on in Omaha. Again, talking about the whole OPPD situation, and it still goes on, it still continues, and I would love to hear some updates. I do know Sister Kimra, Sister Precious, a few other friends of First Sky have had recent conversations and meetings with the board of directors and the leadership at OPPD. So love to get an update onto where that stands. But this article kind of lays out a very interesting element to this that we haven't really talked about. Again, a lot of people chiming up about some of the factories and manufacturing and job opportunities that have come to the Omaha area, but haven't really talked about how that has negatively impacted North Omaha specifically. One of the major reasons, according to this Washington Post article, that the coal plant remains burning is actually the Meta and Google data centers that have come to the area. Again, these power hungry data centers um, basically are the main reason actually that this plant is still open, although again the city did entice and ultimately recruit these plants to the area. They did so without the real power necessary to run these. Again, it was promised to the community that these plants would close back in 2023. The deadline to rid that plant of the coal arrived, however, and has since gone, and yet the power plant remains. The power company balked at that promise, eliminating toxic emissions, conflicted with, again, a competing priority. Meta and Google data centers that not only power, again, the major tech companies, but also power some other tech companies as far as artificial intelligence based servers. And this is a situation that's not just growing and booming in the Nebraska area, but across the nation. Georgia, Utah, and Wisconsin are also several other areas that are dealing with this process or problem, really, as well. The Nebraska story, however, reveals in detail how the race by giant technology companies to gain the advantage in AI is conflicting with climate goals and potentially harming public health, specifically for communities of color or communities on the fringes. So again, this is very interesting. This is something that we don't really talk about too much on the show, but we'll love to continue to talk about and point out, in this election season that Omaha Public Power District, again, is a public power district. It is a subdivision. It is a local government, and people do have the opportunity to vote on the board of directors who ultimately make these decisions. So just want to lay that out there. And
Mhm.
again, for those of you who are in the chat, I know Sister Kimra is in the chat. I know you've spoken to the leadership at OPPD. Where are we right now with that situation? And let's not let that fall through the cracks.
Yeah, definitely want to keep up on that story for sure. Again, shout out to Miss Cheryl Weston, who, if you don't know, go to her channel, Conversations with Cheryl Weston. She's also is what we consider in the black media out here in the
Man,
alternative media group with us, doing the good work. So shout out to her for putting this together. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Dr. Cornell West, who when he came out here, went down to the coal plant and did a video on, hey, you guys are supposed to stop this. We've been getting a lot of information on the coal plant situation for a long time, and the main part of the story is that the can gets kicked down the road. That's really the main part of the whole thing. They say they're gonna shut it down. They don't. Here's some kind of really, to me, some solid evidence that they're not going to shut it down anytime soon because, like you said, these big plants that are coming are going to need the energy. So
hmm
that's what it is. Anthony Rogers right in the chat. OPPD is switching to fracked gas, which is worse public health than coal. So there's some new information there about what OPPD is going to coming to do. Like I said, kind of going the opposite direction of making the area healthier here, and we have to remind ourselves about how bad the situation is as far as coal and stuff is concerned. Pretty much, somebody if you don't have it, somebody got asthma. You grew up in
man.
North Omaha, straight up.
Yeah, I mean, I've almost lost family members to severe asthma attacks. So
Yeah.
this is a situation of life and death. And yeah, yeah. To Maggie Miller Jenkins' point, definitely thinking about who will be impacted mostly by these situations. She says black and brown neighborhoods will be the most affected by the health devastation from these endeavors. So yeah, yeah, I have to agree.
Also, Kimber in the chat is saying, I'm sitting here thinking about how no one from OPPD has ever mentioned the Facebook data center at all, even the elected members of the board. Thank you, Cheryl.
Yeah, yeah. I thought this was definitely an interesting element to the story that we haven't really talked about. Again, we've been talking about trying to, and continuing to talk about trying to get major manufacturing plants and areas, to come to the specifically the North Omaha area. We know that this business park is still pushing forward. There's still a fight to get that to happen. They're about to expand the airport. All of these things take power.
Hmm.
So what does that mean for the reality of this whole plant either switching its power source or just shutting down in general?
Yeah. I just don't. There's no way they're gonna shut down. I just
Right.
don't believe it. Kimmer is saying we can, letting us know where we can hear from some people. She says, I believe someone from OPPD might be attending our next speaker series, which is focused on environmental justice.
Beautiful.
A good idea to talk to somebody there for sure. Also, when Terrell McKinney just had a gathering of people who were running, and there was somebody from OPPD uh, running for for the board there that was in North Omaha. Big Mama saying we're gonna shut this down. So it's really interesting that I just heard this from somebody who is a part of OPPD and is trying to retain a seat there. That is saying that that's going to be the biggest priority when they come to North Omaha to speak. But then here this article drops, and you're like, how are you going to do that?
Right.
How you going to shut it down with all this coming?
Man,
So
man. Brother Anthony Rogers right in the chat also, reminding us, as I mentioned, this is a public power district, actually one of the few public power districts in the nation. So you have the opportunity to kind of vote on the leadership. And to that point, Eric Williams is running unopposed. I believe Eric Williams is the representative of the North Omaha district. I do remember speaking to him during his first campaign while we were at the Minus Soul Days at Malcolm X Memorial Foundation.
mhm,
He would frequent the foundation, just looking for votes, looking, having conversations about the bike trail and different things. And he mentioned that, he would support solar and things like that. And there's, talks of a solar farm out in the western Nebraska. But again, what are the reality? Do we get our hopes up? What's the reality of these situations changing? And okay, so Cameron kind of confirming the person you might be talking about is Eric Williams as well.
mm, yeah. Yeah, interesting, man. This, we already kind of were skeptical because how many times have they kicked the can down the road on this?
Hmm.
Every few years is in the news that they're promising North Omaha to shut this down. They don't for one reason or another, and this has been the biggest reason I've seen come yet. How are you going to have these big data centers come and not, I mean they're coming because there's the infrastructure here to power them. So how they just going to shut that down? I mean, with Anthony Rogers right is saying about the fracking coming, then that like it's like I said, they're choosing another environmentally messed up way to do that, and it's all gonna make North Omaha is gonna be feeling the brunt of that. North
Hmm.
Omaha is gonna suffer for it. So yeah, interesting. We'll definitely have to see about talking to some other folks about this and see. This is election season. These, if they're running, we got to double up on that now because I know that if they come to the black community, that's what they're touting all the time. We're going to shut this down. If I get elected, I'm going to help shut this down. Is it that can't be the truth? That
Man.
can't. How is that the truth?
Right, and it's just more so of us. Do we believe what they say? Because they've been saying the thing, and actually in this article, CEO Javier Fernandez said in a blog post that by 2030, we are going to nearly double our generation portfolio. He says that's incredible. Utility officials say they will eventually bring online a huge amount of wind and solar energy. So they are looking at alternative energy sources enough to actually meet as much as 60% of the new demand. Much of the rest will come from gas, as Brother Anthony Rogers right had mentioned. But again, how high do we get our hopes on this? To your point, there are cornfields, there are plenty of space for solar and those types of farms. But
we've done some reporting on that too, and they're not going to have nearly enough wind and solar out here to cover anything. That's just not going to happen
Dang.
here in
How much
Nebraska.
sun do you get in Nebraska? You know?
Yeah, and then there's the land situation. I think Maggie Miller Jenkins in the chat talked about Bill Gates owning a whole lot of land out here. There's a
Yeah.
lot of land situations where you're supposed to be able to put like wind and all that kind of stuff, wind turbines and things. But it just that report that we did that one time just made reinforced to me that there's not ever going to be enough alternative energy. No, I wouldn't say ever, but we are way far away from that being able to take care of what the needs are now, especially with stuff coming up. Like Kimmer says, 2016, 2017, they've been building these data centers since at least back then. So that means the public power district has been knowing that they needed that power. They haven't said nothing.
Mm.
We haven't thought of it in that way. So this is a very eye-opening article, and shout out to Cheryl Weston for being a part of it for real.
Yeah, big time, and more energy conversations, environmental justice conversations to be had. It seems like we're lacking in that area. To Brother Anthony Rogers' right point, he says, in general, Omaha does not have a good understanding of environmental justice organizing. He says there is not one environmental justice organization in the entire state of Nebraska. And again, we talk about redlining. We talk about the history of redlining and the impact that it has had on just the development and the shaping of our community. But environmental is a huge part. It was kind of the directing force of redlining. The worst environmental areas is where they decided to put our community. So the
Man.
environmental justice aspect and conversation is definitely something that needs to continue and needs to be had. And we're here for it. So again, yeah, big shout out to Washington Post and Sister Cheryl Weston.
And also big shout out to Anthony Rogers Wright, who's a person that's actually got some actual experience with environmental rights and justice, and has been doing some work in other places. If you saw the comments that were made on Friends of First Sky Omaha, he's done some work in New York on some of these issues, and so I defer to him on these things. He was a speaker also for One Omaha speaker series, and spoke on some things too. I wasn't able to make it, but I heard he dropped some knowledge on that. And so I appreciate that we got somebody in the chat, a chat chimer that has some real experience and kind of knows what's going on this point of being able to try to fight some of this stuff.
Man,
He's out in New York fighting for it, and it didn't go quite well. So it's hard to think that the fight is going to be able to work out here in the same in a way that is going to make some real difference. But that don't mean stop fighting. That just means
right,
gotta do what
right,
you gotta do.
right.
Appreciate everybody on comments. I see everybody kind of talking to each other too. I don't want to dig too deep into this. We'll definitely have more discussion after the 8 o'clock hour on some things. It is 7:37 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, would like to jump into something else
Mm-hmm.
before we get to the guests coming in. If you're just joining us, Tamika Meese from NOC is going to join us today, and we'll have more discussion. If you remember, she kind of jumped in impromptu on Monday, and we got to talk to her a little bit, and it had me excited about the conversation we're going to have today. So I hope you stay tuned for that.
Man, yeah.
Meantime, between time, buddy, what you got?
Yeah, so I do want to actually acknowledge a comment from Sister Kimra. She says, so not only do we have to be voters, but we also have to be expert researchers. She goes on to say, we are supposed to have people in these seats that we can trust to do the research for us and then come explain it to us, which is, again, reminding us that this whole power situation and really a lot of the situations that we talk about on the show can be, impacted, if not fully solved, by voting. And we're learning that and leaning more into it. And again, a huge portion of our community will now, hopefully today, find out if they will be able to also vote and exercise that right to vote. Again, several thousands of felons, former felons, formerly incarcerated brothers and sisters still hanging in the balance, wanting to, they have expressed the desire to get back into the fold of government, to get back into just their civic duty, and now courts are blocking them, and we'll hopefully find out today whether or not that block will continue. Again, the Nebraska Supreme Court, according to the Nebraska Examiner, will weigh in today on whether the legislature has the authority to change the timing of when people with felony convictions get back their right to vote. The court took the unusual step Tuesday of announcing a midweek opinion. Again, this is not something that happens very often. And actually, per our conversation on Monday with Senator Justin Wayne, we didn't know whether or not this decision will come down even before the election. So with just 2 days left to register to vote. Very, very interesting timing on all of this. But again, thousands of Nebraskans are waiting to hear whether they can register to vote now under LB 20, which again is a new state law that has been passed and is in place, which eliminated a 2-year wait for the ability to vote after serving a felony sentence. But again, those thousands of Nebraskans have been hanging in limbo since that bill was challenged by Secretary of State Bob Evnen and Attorney General Mike Hilgers, who also joined Governor Jim Pillen in interpreting the bill as constitutional overreach by the legislative branch, basically saying that the legislature, our senators, our elected officials, did not have the right to do what they did. So again, as we're learning, as we talk to more and more candidates, this has a real impact. Again, we've seen several races over the last several years, local races being decided for by fewer than 100 votes, especially in the primaries. So again, 10,000 plus votes hanging in the balance could definitely direct certain races one way or another. So again, huge decision coming down today. And yeah, we'll be looking out to see how the Supreme Court is swayed.
Shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney, who revealed that a lot of people, he's very, very close in contact with formerly incarcerated people or incarcerated people. He does a lot of work in the prisons. He said that a lot of people reached out to him wanting to vote,
Man,
and this is definitely an issue. And of course, we had a great conversation last week with Jaquila Yarborough, who is running for county commissioner,
yep.
and she has been doing work in this area too, and been saying that she's getting a lot of feedback. A lot of people saying that they would love to vote. A lot of people that are just getting out, formerly incarcerated people, would love to vote. As a matter of fact, they voted for her to get on the ballot, and because of this ruling, she has to be written in now because she wasn't able to count those votes. And like Maggie Miller Jenkins is saying in the chat, they're going to run it up to the last minute, final moments. She says, of course, they'll push it to the final moments. Again, if our votes weren't important, they wouldn't try so hard to stop us.
Man.
I look at this picture and I think these are the people that are getting ready to make a decision on whether or not formerly
Mm,
incarcerated people in a state that 60-70% people of color in these prisons, whether or not,
mm,
what kind of decision they're gonna make. We'll see is
man.
what I'm thinking about. Number one. Number two, I'm just I'm one. I don't want to gloss over the fact that it's because of our senators, Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Justin Wayne. They even got these laws passed to be able to. They're even thinking about felon people that have a felony on their record, being able to vote and going to other places and seeing other states where they are letting that happen, and how that affects things and what's going to happen with elections because of it and so on. With this fight of winner take all that Republicans are really trying to make this state be about, they probably are very scared that it's going to add to the blue dot if they allow it. So there's putting a little
Mhm.
pressure on, got a little pressure on them to make a decision. We'll see what the decision is today. But one thing I do want to mention though is a little bit of a strategy that actually I think I got from Senator Wayne about what's happening with these dates. So they're nervous because if this doesn't go through and people have voted, first of all, they've already stopped the early voting for this because of this waiting on this decision. Because if you vote, you're not able to vote, then that's the reason for them to be trying to come after you and
Man, send you
get
back.
right. But at the very least, get registered. So this registration is over. The deadline is the 18th. There's 2 days to register. So whatever the decision is today, or if they push it back again, whatever goes on here, at least get registered. You can do that. You can at least get registered if so that you can be ready to vote if it
Yeah.
goes in their favor. And yeah, so that's kind of what we've been talking to folks about as we go. So we really appreciate everybody who is pushing that narrative as well and trying to help everybody people get registered anyway. Shout out to Black Votes Matter, who
Hmm.
even though they haven't reached their goal of getting as many people to vote as they want to, they're still doing the work, and they got a lot of people registered. So we'll see if it works out that they end up voting as well, and then get some bigger numbers on that. But yeah, with this situation, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if I was in that situation, I would at least want to go ahead and get registered just in case I can, and
Man.
then fingers crossed on
Yeah.
uh on these cats here.
Man,
voting in my
Maggie Miller
favor.
Jenkins. Maggie Miller Jenkins calling it out. She says that picture is a great example of how the system hasn't changed much. Rich white people deciding the fate of impoverished black and brown
Straight
folks.
up,
Straight up.
straight up.
And possibly sending them back to jail. Like that's man, mind blowing. Mind blowing.
Very much so. 7:45. If you believe in the concept of time, I highly encourage you to jump into the chat and talk about and see what's going on here on YouTube and on Facebook. Do us a favor and share the show. If you miss any parts of the show, please go back and check it out. And yeah, just follow the chat. We actually got the best chat around because
Man.
this is the actual discussion. We're speaking to each other as if we're face to face, and most people in the chat know each other, and so we're trying to have a discussion on these topics and these subjects. Not a lot of trolling going on. We're trying to keep people attacking each other down. We're trying to set a tone of respect, of being respectful to each other in the chat, and it really makes for some great conversation in the chat. So please go back to the chat and check it out, and pay attention to what's being said here. And I appreciate everybody that's doing that. Pop says, if you paid your debt to society, why do you have to keep on paying? It should full privilege restored, including voting.
Man.
First of all, voting is a right. So we know because of the 13th Amendment,
Mm-hmm.
you get your rights stripped if you're are incarcerated or if you get convicted. And so so to me, a major part of living that kind of life, living in that kind of society, is that you better get them rights back when you're done.
Right, right. And to the point, actually, that's not even the law in Nebraska anymore. It's still on the federal constitution, but in the state constitution, that was voted out. 300,000 people try to keep it, but that's been voted out. So here we are, still rights being taken away. Very interesting, very interesting. But
Man,
yeah, we'll continue that conversation.
we certainly will. This is a heavy one for us.
Man.
Shout out to everybody that sees the chat. I see a new name in the chat, Holly Alexander Smith.
Yeah.
Best news, honestly. Appreciate that. Giving us some love. I love First Sky News. I just suck at being a morning person.
Oh, okay.
So do we. So do we.
Yeah, we're taking a couple naps after this show, a couple times.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break and come right back. Hopefully, we'll get our special guest in here coming soon. If you're just joining us, we should be joined by Tamika Meese this morning, and she's from the NOC. So we'll definitely talk about the neighborhood. What is it called? The North
Omaha Community Partnership.
Community Partnership. That's right, and she does a lot of work for the community.
Man.
So can't wait to talk to her about that. But stay tuned. We'll be right back, and we'll hopefully be able to talk to her. Stay tuned. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Coming to you live. Facebook, YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Malcolm X is telling you to do it right now.
To all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, that's me. Buddy
Hey.
to God, that's him.
Yeah.
Chat chimers, appreciate you very much. So
Oh.
Ghost listeners, appreciate you too. You guys spread the word. Every time I go anywhere around town, they're like, First Sky, First Sky. I was like, all right, yo,
Man.
show up in the morning then.
I don't know. Maybe they like Sister Holly, not morning people, not morning
Hey,
folk.
I can't blame you. Can't blame you. You can always go back and see the show in its entirety on YouTube and Facebook. I highly encourage you to go back to both so you can look at all the chat that's going on in Facebook and all the chat that's going on YouTube.
Man.
And yeah, really kind of dig in and check it out anytime. That's kind of why we do it like this too, because after the live, of course, you can watch it later and a lot of people come back and do that. We understand that, and we also understand that we're in a time frame in the morning where there's a lot going on. People take
Man,
kids to school, all kinds of stuff. So shout out to the ones that have the ability to stick with us throughout the first and second hour. Definitely going to do more conversation in the second hour, and shout out to the ones that are coming in, coming out, coming back in, throwing something
yeah,
in. Hey,
yeah,
however you got to do it. If we can get you that kind of information, we can get the information out to you in a way that you can receive it, then that's all that matters. And so
yeah,
that's another reason why we have implemented now the weekly wrap,
yeah.
which is our newsletter that goes directly to your inbox. Definitely sign up for that. I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat for you to do that if you haven't done so already. This drops every Friday. Kind of wraps up some of the stuff that we talked about and some of the articles that stood out as important, and some more news as well, and some more haps and things like that in the
Yeah.
weekly wrap too, and surveys that you can participate in. And you can also hit us back at firstsky@gmail.com, because it can still be a conversation. It's not just something for you to read, something for you to respond to, and give us some feedback on. So sign up for the weekly wrap newsletter, First Sky Omaha, something we've been working hard on and trying to improve every week.
Yeah, man.
And it's another way that we can try to get some information out too for those of you that can't really get up in the morning and participate here. So,
Yeah, also, it's a great way to cop some merch. First Sky merch on
ooh,
deck.
especially that. Yep, yep, yep. Shout out to Sky Ree. That First Sky shirt is hot, boy.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
It's
man. We got
hot.
some other. Still got public housing fight the tower shirts on deck. Again, a percentage of these proceeds do go to some good causes. Again, going with supporting the Underwood Tenants Group and Brother Hassani Lee as they continue their fight against the Omaha Public Housing Authority, and just not only just public housing, but just tenants' rights in general. Again, supporting our tenants in the Omaha area, and then also the First Sky T percentage goes to the Underwood Tenants Group, and also supporting local artists. Man, shout out to Sky Ree,
Yeah, man.
definitely a dope artist, man. So yeah, yeah, tap in, man. Support.
Yeah, I'm putting that link in the chat as well for you guys who want to get down on some of those shirts. You can go directly to the page and purchase that. We've been working hard behind the scenes to get these kind of infrastructures happening the way they need to happen. Smooth that. It's still me packaging them up and sending them out to you though. So be patient. Be patient with
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yep.
But
Appreciate
they
you.
coming. They coming.
Mama God in the chat is saying people say you First Sky should have said this or that during the show. Of course, you can watch later, but you have to get up and join the conversation if you want to participate in real time. Very true.
Yeah,
Yeah, we kind of allow people to be like you. You should talk about this. You should talk about that. We definitely want to hear your feedback on what it is that we ought to be bringing up, and we count that when we're deciding what it is to facilitate as far as the conversation is concerned. And we do that also with the thought of the grand kind of idea in mind. Over time, if you're with us, then you recognize some evergreen topics and some things that we keep coming back to for that reason. You can get headlines today on something, and people will move right on along to the next
man.
thing, especially in this day and age, bro. I was thumbing through my feed the other day and saw that picture of the kids burning in Gaza, and then right after that, it was somebody laughing about a hat they put on at the Met Gala, and it was just like back to back, and I was just like, I hate the way we consume news and stuff now,
Hmm.
man. How is your emotions? How are you supposed to deal with that? How are you supposed to deal with you scroll down one or two or three and nothing is lined up? You can't have a deeper discussion or feel nothing. You ain't got time to feel nothing.
Man,
So we kind of do it differently here, where we have an ongoing conversation. We kind of continue in order to get deeper ideas and deeper thoughts on certain subjects that are necessary to us, so that we can get to some action items,
man.
which is really the only way that can happen is starting with that conversation. So I appreciate you guys who are a part of this process, who come regularly. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the chat chimers. I definitely think that this is the reason why we have chat chimer kickbacks each year. We're going to make those bigger because we're getting more people in the chat as well. And we're going to make them more extensive too. We really want to kind of meet you face to face. This is turning
Yeah,
into a family.
yeah.
And we definitely need to be able to spend time like a family as well. So shout out Kimmer Snipes giving us some love in the newsletter.
Hey,
It's a great newsletter. I shared it with some people. I wish that One Omaha could share it, but unfortunately we can't because of the political ads. Oh, okay.
okay, okay.
We still need to talk about some
Yeah.
collaboration there. So,
Definitely.
hmm,
Definitely gonna have some
good. Glad
communication on that.
glad you put that in my ear. Appreciate that. Matthew Miller Jenkins is talking about that boy who was pictured burning with the four in his
Ivy.
arm. Oh, the Ivy, the four. I'm the fourth. So uh, was a 19-year-old college student, oldest son, and learned English to ask us in Empire for help. Now he's ashes in on our
Dying.
dimes, dims too. Man. So yeah, I hate the way we consume news right now. We all know that we get news from scrolling on our social media
Mhm.
devices. We see something, we dig into it, we get a little clip, we get a little sound bite. If we want to get deeper than that, sometimes we'll go to our trusted sources just to kind of see if things are right, if there's any more information on it. And
Man,
then unless you're an actual journalist, which we are building the army of citizen journalists, so it's no surprise that we got people in the chat, chat chimers that dig in a little further than just the headlines. Um, then you got to kind of have a special interest in order to even be a person that is going to dig a little deeper on purpose. So
man.
shout out to
And
every huh?
And I just wanted to add, I do want to give a shout out and some love to, and rest in peace to Brother John Heaston, because a big part of how we approach, as you're saying, news and information, is based on some things he introduced to us, being, namely solutions journalism. And to your point, I'm just as you're talking, I'm just thinking about it, like what makes us different, why we approach this the way that we do, and a big part of it is that feeling that a lot of us get when watching the news and it's all doom and gloom, and you can't really feel like you can't do anything about it. And I don't know about y'all, but I personally, kind of reached the point where it's like, why even put that stuff into my brain? Why even soak that stuff in? Why even consume that information to feel bad about it and feel hopeless and and just not feel good about it?
Yeah,
But here we try to talk about. Of course, we got to talk about these things, but we try to talk about it in a way that you walk away feeling empowered. You walk away feeling like, yeah, this is happening, but there's X, Y, and Z that I can do about it. There's things that I can go and control, and at least have a opportunity to impact some of these things, and make the world around me a little better place, man. So again, rest in peace, and big thank you to John Heason for introducing us to that, and big shout out to all of you for joining us in this endeavor.
there you go. Mama God says, "Ain't no slacking. We packing for some action." She got bars.
Hey,
Mama God,
bars.
I see where you get it now, buddy. I see where you get
Hey, mom's is a poet.
it. Holly Alexandria Smith, appreciate you coming in today. She says, "We went from aliens in February to a crash landing in DC that no one can really explain in a year, on top of 27 genocides that are still actively happening. This year has been like, just let's just get a blackout on the bingo card kind of year, and it's been a lot. But I'm glad I'm not alone."
Nah,
Man,
nah, we
appreciate
all in
that.
this together. We all in this together. So yeah.
Appreciate that. Uh, Judy Princess says, "I'm using the mute button a lot." I tell you, man, I agree. I feel like I think it comes with maturity too. I think the older I get, the more I start saying, yeah, when I was young, I was trying to take in all information, every single detail, every single thing, feel every emotion, go through a bunch of stuff. But you really are spinning your wheels when you can't do nothing about it. I kind
Yeah.
of think by the time I got to my 30s, I was in do mode. Now I got to do something about this. And
Yeah.
then you kind of know where your limitations are. You can only do so much. So then you got to start refining down what you're going to do. And I kind of, for me, my first refine down was, well, it's got to be for the fam first, man. I got to take care of family first. And so what I'm gonna spend my due energy on that. You know what I'm saying? But now, now now we see that there's some ways that we can all get together
Mm-hmm.
and become more powerful to take care of some of the things that we individually can't. And I think that's important. I think this is why we started off this show like a straight up news radio show,
Yeah.
opposing views and sound bites and the whole nine. And it kind of morphed into the situation where we're like, no, we're not, well, this is more of a gathering of people to kind of get on the same page and have a discussion and get deep into the discussion. So it's really because of you guys that we've morphed into this format. And I feel like this is the closest thing that, when there's some things that we need to do and take some action on, we kind of help rally everybody to do that. And that's what it's kind of turned into, because when you have that kind of conversation, you let that conversation go on long enough, and you understand all aspects of the situation you guys are talking about, then it's a natural next step to go, all right, y'all, what we gonna do about it?
Right.
And then organization starts, and then then you got organizations like a Black Agenda Alliance that get together and do something, and that put boots to the roots and gets down on it. Mayor Sanchez, who's always boots to the roots, getting down on it. So yeah, I just really appreciate that very much. Rose Review says, I said Americans are too poor to make a change, but rich enough to have an opinion. Yeah, we trying to shy away. We trying to make sure that we taking some action and not just have opinions. Kimmer Snipes also says no great work is done alone. There are people who try to act like they are doing everything great alone, but most of the great work is definitely collective impact. It's a network. It's a network. It's got to be a network. The problems are bigger than us individually, and so we got to have a bigger group of people to attack the problems, as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned. So
It's the only way it's gonna happen.
there it is. 8 o'clock right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're now entering the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
And yeah, we're gonna have a lot more discussion here. We were anticipating our special guest to come in. Something must have happened, and I haven't heard anything quite yet on whether or not they are actually going to come through. It may be in the second hour that they come through. So we do have a couple slots that we try to line people up with, and we may have gotten it wrong, and maybe she's coming in on the second hour. We'll see. I haven't heard anything from her yet, but we're anticipating Tamika Meese coming on in from the North Omaha. Community partnership, right? And hopefully we can have some discussion with her about some of the things that's going on in the neighborhood. She's one of these organizations too, Boost to the Roots, one of these individuals that are making change and doing some things for people. So
Yeah, and I mean, to that point, I did see, as I was preparing for the show, there were some shootings in the area, and again, she's kind of one of the main ones that's answering these calls, helping these families in these types of situations. So she might be working. Just putting that out there. So, but yeah, definitely love to speak to her and catch up with her. But in the meantime, between time, as you mentioned, we are here in the second hour. What say you?
Yeah, man. Let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll dive into another story real quick and some more conversation. Appreciate everybody that's joined into the conversation. We'll jump into the chat
Picking
and all
up.
those good things. Yeah, definitely picking up. Definitely some new names and all kinds of stuff. So we love it. We love it. That's what's happening. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy the God.
Hey.
Be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy the God.
Hey.
Shout out to Pops for that track. Call it Pops theme around here.
Man.
Yeah, man. Go to his page, Paul B. Allen III. And yeah, man. Check out the new releases that he got going on too. Appreciate that. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Aggie Kid earlier, who put together the Ballad or the Bullet for us years ago. That's still bumping. You can also get that on Spotify and Apple Music and everywhere else as well. So yeah, shout out to the artist and shout out to Sherman Wells, who now is blessing us with his intro wake up song in the morning. Got some real talent out here. Got some real talent, but that's what happens when a couple of musicians decide they're gonna do something, then all their musician friends kick in. So appreciate that very much, man. Buddy, I can see you got something on your head over there. What's going on?
Oh, I'm actually kind of looking through the chat. Do have some stories lined up, but yeah, just trying to make sure I'm mentally prepared for the rest of the show.
What's sticking out in the chat for you?
Just kind of looking at the last few comments. That woman, Miss Erica Felt, in the chat, kind of giving everybody their kudos, their flowers. She says, "I love that we all have different strengths and abilities, so we get in where we fit in. I wrestle with the guilt of inaction or not as much action as I wanted, but reality is, we all do what we can do." So yeah, and that's definitely something that we had to decide for ourselves. Going back to Freedom Summer in 2021, that's kind of why we leaned into what is now First Sky Omaha, because during that summer we were still at Mind and Soul, and it really did become us. Do we jump off air and get out in the streets and protest? Do we stay on air and kind of voice to what, give a voice to what's going on? And in that, we found our space, we found our place. And, that's where we started with journalism as activism. That we decided that journalism and being a voice and spreading the information and making sure the story is being told properly was our form of activism. And, not everybody is going to be out on the streets. Not everybody, some people need to go to the voting booth. Some people need to go out and protest. Some people need to send emails. Yeah, we all have a place. And again, we're all we got, but that's enough.
Yeah, man. During what we call Freedom Summer 2020, when people were marching and so on and so forth out there, we happened to be on the air at Malcolm X Memorial Foundation, running the Mind and Soul radio program, and that was one of those moments where we had to kind of decide like what's going to happen. And Buddy just explained, we weren't the ones out on the street, but we had some people out there that were reporting back to us, and we were able to get on the air and kind of be like, "This is what's happening down there." For those of you that
Man,
can't get down there, and we realized that was our place in a big way, for us to be a part of it in that way. So that kind of set the tone for what was going on here, and we'll continue to do that. And then we kind of found that out too, just to be a kind of a agent of bringing all these different entities together. The people that are going to be on the street, people all the way to the legislature making the laws, everybody in between. So that's where we're at here. So we appreciate everybody that is supporting us doing that too. And
thank
same
you.
thing, kind of the reason why we figure out, that there's some evergreen topics, some stuff that we're going to try to get into and keep talking about, is because we can tackle some of those things. We can't tackle everything all the time. So
Right.
that's another reason for our hyper local focus more than a worldwide focus most of the time.
Yeah.
Of course, all these things tie into the world all the time, and we try to bring that out as well. But the hyper local focus and local politics and things that we can control right this minute to change some things in life right now is a lot of the topics that we lean towards. So
There you go.
Magic Miller Jenkins is saying Swing Left podcast is also a good one. Yeah, man. Shout out to Swing Left podcast. She's a woman who runs that as a chat chimer as well. So I mean, yeah, there's we got a nice little network going on here with that, and of course, Miss Cheryl Weston, conversations with Cheryl Weston, who is doing the good work. We can name a lot. I name a few that are really trying to be out here doing some things. We take them all in together. 95.7 The Boss,
Yeah.
William King over there on the morning show. um, so yeah, there's a lot popping up because there's still a need. Shout out to Terry Sanders with Omaha Star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot that we can do, and we also even in Nebraska Examiner, who does the good work every day, Flatwater Free Press. We can name
Yeah.
a lot, and even the ones that Channel Sevens and things like that. There's reporters over there doing some work. Sometimes we got to read between the lines on some of those articles, but
Yeah. A little bit. A little
it
bit.
is all in the realm of information gathering and
Yeah.
dissemination. So yeah,
Also, something we haven't really talked about, but Nebraska media is gearing up with the reader. The reader is still, don't count the reader out. Don't don't write them off. If you remember earlier this year, Nebraska media bought or was able to acquire the reader from Pioneer Media. So yeah, they're still still doing some things out there. So check the reader out as well. Support.
there you go. Meantime, between time, like I said, if you're anticipating our special guest, we're still waiting on that guest to come through too. Hopefully, we'll be able to hear from Tamika Meese today. But in the
Yeah,
meantime, between time, I know there's a couple things we wanted to tap on and jump onto and get some
yeah.
feedback from you guys on. So let's jump into that. What's next on the agenda, buddy?
Yeah, one of the evergreen topics that we've been talking about here on the show and we'll continue to talk about, because to be honest, this is one of the stories where no solutions are really jumping out, but it's definitely a problem that everybody is feeling. Talking about homelessness. Again, homelessness is something that is on the rise in the Omaha area. We've been talking about the housing situation, and this is the underbelly, the unfortunate side of the housing situation. When you find yourself struggling to secure a roof over your head, unfortunately, too many Omahans are finding themselves on the streets. Actually, according to an article from WOWT, there are more than 1,400 people in need of shelter in all of Douglas, Sarpy, and Potawatomi counties. That's according to Omaha's homeless shelter coordinator. And currently, Omaha is looking for long-term solutions to respond to the issue. But right now, again, the city is seeing a gradual increase of those without shelter over the last few years. um Omaha homeless service coordinator Tamara Dwyer presented a report to Douglas County commissioners recently. Dwyer told commissioners that the city is clearing out encampments, which is something we talked about here on the show, with tons of materials being cleaned up everywhere, from out of the way places to city streets. They're also hooking up homeless people with services that can help. But Dwyer said the major problem remains a lack of affordable housing, which we are still even trying to find a definition for and struggling to do so. There's 13 households competing for one unit. The people who aren't homeless are going to win those, or aren't low income are going to win those. And without thinking long term, I can see a problem getting worse. One of the main shelters and facilities that a lot of people in the Omaha metro think of, the Santa Francis House, has built little homes to provide shelter for those living out on the streets, and actually plan to build more tiny homes in other tiny villages, as they're being called. But officials say that most stay in the homes and turnover is low. More people are using shelters, and officials with the metro area continuum of care, or known as match, told commissioners they're starting to see older people looking for shelter. So again, the population is aging, and more issues will come out of that. Shout out to Sister Kimra, who shared an article recently on Friends of First Sky, that also talked about the health implications and the public health challenges and dangers that come from, again, individuals being homeless and not without the services that they need. We might not think about it often. You might drive, past somebody laying on the side of the street and not think about the impacts that it have. But these are people who are finding themselves in hospitals. These are people who are finding themselves in jail cells, and again, kind of leaning and putting a lot of pressure on the system, public services, if you will. That these things can be avoided. These are hospital visits that can be avoided if these people just got the help that they need, or jail visits that can be avoided if people just, again, got the help that they need. So shout out to the Santa Francis home. Shout out to Santa Francis. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to those who are doing the work, trying to stem this off. But again, this is a situation that, in many ways, impacts all of us, and really could be any of us, given certain circumstances. So here we are.
Very concerning that there's more elderly people out there too, because when you get older, you really need to be going to your doctor's visits and everything that's going on there. And so it's like that health impact is going to be rough. So shout out to Kimmer for that. Shout out to Chris Baby Boy Bowling over there
Hey,
at Flatwater Free Press, who I'm putting this in the chat right now. He put an article about the unsheltered back in May. And he really kind of went in on certain individual that he was talking to, and kind of got a feel for what was going on in the situation too. And this is also about homelessness on the rise in Omaha. So shout out to Flatwater Free Press, Chris Baby Boy Bowling, who dug into that situation as well. And this is one of those things that I feel like this is what we can use this community for, especially too. If there's people that you can help. We can kind of spread the word here and help people to reach out to be able to help. There's somebody that some family members that you got that need some help. It's nothing to kind of reach out and kind of talk to folks and get riled up enough people to be able to try to help in as much as we can in each individual circumstance. But as a whole, we also talk to legislators. We also talk to people in unicameral that, as a matter of fact, the senators Justin Wayne, Senator Terrell McKinney, that comes on regularly, that also we can encourage to put some laws together to figure out figure something out to where we can make things law in order to help folks as well. So I think Maggie Miller Jenkins said that in the chat a little earlier as well. So cities can put a cap on rent prices. We have the ability to hold our elected officials accountable for providing low income housing.
mm,
Yeah, we gotta remember, it's not always people that are hitting rock bottom and down and out that are out there. It's people that were one rent check away from being out
yeah,
on the street, not having no resources, and because or people that can't find affordable housing right at this moment, or housing prices being up so high that you got families and older folks on the street because of it. So this really encompasses everybody, not just people who might be down and out, or a lot of people
yeah.
think that people on drugs are the only ones that are out here. No, it's not like
No,
that at all.
It's rough. It's rough. One of the statistics jumping out from this article, in this moment, is the fact that it states that 13 households are competing for one rental property. That's the average. When you're renting, when you're looking for a rental property, when you're trying to sign a lease and you're looking for a new spot, you're competing with 12 other families. That's crazy. Like, so that only tells me that landlords and property management companies are looking for any excuse to eliminate somebody from this whole process. Highly, highly competitive. So those dealing with addiction, those struggling with employment, those on the fringes are most likely the first to get chopped. And if you can't find, where do you end up? Where do you end up?
It's a good question. Started to get cold out here, like we said earlier. 30 degrees
Man,
this morning. Judy Printer is saying, thinking what I'm thinking. Warm coats, hats, gloves, please donate.
yeah,
Plenty of
yeah.
places that you can go donate these things to. I just heard one, just saw one the other day too about luggage. You have
Mm,
luggage, donate luggage to places where foster care places, because they usually have these kids put their clothes in trash bags when they're going in between spots. So donate some old luggage and help that situation out as well. And even people who need to just move from place to place need to have a place to bring some stuff. So
man,
luggage, hats, coats, all the stuff. And more importantly, this is kind of that time of year, really kind of help out. Sienna Francis House and places like that, they get maxed out pretty fast.
man.
They get
Quick.
maxed out pretty fast. So there's a need for more in a big way.
Yeah. So again, if you can help, if you can donate anything or even just volunteer, donate some time. It goes a long way, a long way. Again, according to this article, the WLWT, it says about 6,000 homeless people are served by the Omaha Homeless Service Coordinators, and that's actually about 60% of those are new to the homeless situation. So again, over half of the individuals getting services are new to the homeless situation, going in the wrong direction.
Wanda Lewis, good morning in the chat, is saying, I'm with Anthony Rogers right. If developers get help with TIF with the development of housing, why not build affordable housing and pay it forward by helping those that need it in the community? Seems to be so self consumed.
Mm,
Saying there should be a plan of action with stipulations when it comes to the use of TIF. Yes, it's definitely. I think there's more stuff that can be done with some of these tax breaks and resources out here for sure.
big time.
Yeah, especially when it comes to this subject too, and other ones, but this one in particular. And I think about Sienna Francis House. Can you think about another name, another place like Sienna Francis House that you can name?
I mean,
Is
I
there?
know there are other shelters, but yeah, I can't really think about them.
I don't know of any more than one. Maybe I've heard of another one at some other point. Not sure, but it don't seem like it's enough out here
No,
for
no.
for anybody. So, Kimber's also reminding us of. She says that mental health issues that comes with. She says we need to discuss the mental health issues that come with houselessness as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's like I said though. I've definitely I'm not kind of do the kind of drive by that corner and pull out a couple bucks when I see somebody out there, and usually I say hi to them and say how you doing. I hear you okay, and they speak back, and I'm thinking to myself, man, you look like you just lost your house. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
really and I'm kind of, especially when I'm looking around, see if there's any families involved or kids or whatever out there, because you gotta also feel for who you're talking to, because I think a lot of people drive by and pass by people like, oh, they on drugs and mentally disabled. You know what I'm saying? Like they got some issues going on. No, a lot of people are just having a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, even the people who are mentally disabled and on drugs, like they're having a hard time and need help.
Yeah.
So
Oh, shout out to a Heart Ministry. Thinking of organizations that really help folks. Shout out to
yeah.
Heart Ministry for the work they do too. I mean, they kind of secure food, especially in one of the biggest food pantries around. And and a lot of people that are houseless, sometimes they'll go there because they have laundry facilities there and stuff like that. So there's some other places there. Now that I'm thinking about it, more than just Sienna Francis House, but Sienna Francis House actually has beds, whereas
Yeah.
Heart Ministries and other places don't. So there's still needs. There's still a
Yeah.
lot of need. Judy Prinzer is reminding us we serve 130 every Friday morning at Holy Family for 1 hour. Okay.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. Church still involved. Church is still involved in helping some of that.
Yeah, Sister Wanda Lewis also says open door mission.
Okay.
Okay,
There
so
you
yeah,
go. I knew that there was. I mean, I heard open door mission.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, if anybody has any resources in any places out there, yeah, let's post them. Let's post them and spread the information. Because yeah, again, you never know. One thing that definitely became evident with the pandemic was how many families are just a $500 emergency away from, if the car goes down or you got to pay for some groceries or you get behind on the bill. Hey, exactly, exactly, exactly,
That
exactly.
would be me.
We all need some help. Let's just put it like that. If I didn't have my support system in my family, ain't no telling where I would be. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
pops. I'm about one check away from moving in with you. So I'm ready.
It'd be like that. It'd be
Y'all see
like
me
that,
out in
man.
Vegas. I ain't partying.
Man.
Uh,
So yeah,
go ahead.
let's support those organizations that are, and there more conversation to be had. Of course, the city is still clearing out encampments, so there's that conversation to be had, and other things like that. But kind of want to leave it there. Lydia House, that's another one I was thinking of. It
Yeah,
helps
yeah,
mostly
yeah.
women and children. So yeah. If you have any resources, spread the word.
Yeah, yep, Kimmer, we've been talking about it. We talked about it in the first hour. We talked about the Supreme Court coming back on felons right to vote. I was kind of anticipating them saying what they got to say. We showed the picture earlier of who the Nebraska Supreme Court is, and
Man,
I don't know anybody here, so I'm not in that loop at all. Don't know names, nothing. So we'll get to know though, because especially especially depending on how they vote today on some things. And we've been talking about the Nebraska Supreme Court a lot on the show for
hmm
several things that they are supposed to be ruling on here soon. So,
abortions, legal marijuana. Yeah, it's all coming through the Supreme Court right now. Several hearings on these issues and whether or not they'll make their way to the ballots, which is very interesting because early voting has already started. So, yeah, and maybe there's a percentage of people who haven't been able to vote on these things. So, yeah, we'll definitely keep our eye on that. And some of the judges, there is some turnaround with judges as well in Douglas County and on the state level at the Supreme Court. So, yeah, educate yourselves. Maybe we'll post some of that in friends of so you can learn more about these judges.
most stuff. You guys are putting some great comments in here about some things to do to help. I appreciate Tony Johnson's, Judy Prenzler's. Yeah. These are all good tips, good things to remember. Definitely good things to remember. Socks too, Kimber says. Yeah, appreciate that very much. So, wait a minute, what's
Oh,
happening?
hold on. Did they decide already? Is that what she's saying?
Oh, she said she put the decision in the chat. Okay, so this is happening real time. Where's the chat? Where is that at? I missed that link. Put that link in there again so we can click on that real quick. Let me see if I can find it.
We got some
Okay,
breaking
yeah.
news, y'all. One
Sorry
second.
about that.
Bear
We
with us.
missed that.
Bear with us. Mm.
Supreme Court came back today already. Okay, cool. Lincoln. Okay. So what is it? What's the ruling?
She says we won.
Did she?
Yeah, she says we won.
Supreme Court, we won. Wow.
Yeah. So if anybody can find that article, this is happening in real time. I did not pull that.
No, this is definitely well
Breaking
we've been
news.
talking about that. They're going to rule on it today. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's what's up. Okay, appreciate that breaking news there, camera. Go ahead and throw that back in there. Hey, look, we trying to decipher your tech, your comments on these things. So I appreciate it. Let us know. Let us hit us with that link so we can definitely check that article out real quick and check it out.
Yeah.
Man,
Gotta
that's
verify.
big news. That's big news. So if what she's saying is what I'm think she's saying, formerly incarcerated people are going to be able to vote.
Man, thousands and thousands of voters. Actually, yep, Precious just came in. Supreme Court, the Nebraska Supreme Court has ruled that people who have served a sentence for a felony conviction can register to vote under a new state law. They argue Secretary of State Bob Evans was wrong to pause registration under LB 20 without a court having ruled it unconstitutional. The next step
Whoa.
is those election officials who did turn, because some people have already been turned away, which means that we have election officials who, under the order of our Secretary of State, broke the law. Will they be held accountable?
I don't know if you guys this has been national news. We have watched many national shows that are like, what they're just gonna decide they're not gonna do what the law tells them to do. That's how y'all doing in Nebraska. This is huge.
Yeah,
Precious says, yeah, man, get him
let that
back on the
marinate for a little
protocol.
bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
That's what's up. That's what RG. I was just about to say that she about to get her peoples. Yarborough about to get her people. So again, remember, it was because she has to get written in for what she's running for because of the fact that they weren't going to count them. They didn't know if they could count
Her votes.
her votes, and she was getting a lot of votes from the people that she's working with to try to help them in their situations. Ashley Miller Jenkins, you know the three words that we say here a lot on this show, thanks to Vaughn Chapman and a bunch of other people: litigation,
Man,
litigation, litigation.
man.
This is
Okay.
crazy.
Comments rolling in. People rejoiced. Heather Williams says, "Great news." Camera.
She about to get her people too. She running for school board. She running for school board. But
All
hey,
right, all right, all right. But I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing.
yeah,
Bob Ebden lawsuit. Saying sue
yeah,
his butt.
man,
Keep it clean.
litigation. Hey, yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Again, Secretary of State Bob Ebden told people to break the law, and they did.
And they did.
Will there be repercussions for that?
And this gang came back and was like, nope, gang, it's not happening.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, wasn't hopeful. Wasn't hopeful.
I'm just, we. It's not that simple to just be like, I don't see none of us in here, so it ain't gonna happen. But
Oh yeah, all skin folk ain't kin folk, and
but yeah,
have friends. There are allies, as we've learned.
the law's the law. I tell you, you're gonna play the game, play the game. The law is the law, and if they're gonna play the game, play the game. So this is this.
Precious gang.
I'm just saying. I will say this. I will say we get disillusioned a lot of times by what's going on in politics, but there are checks and balances around that are supposed to be working, and sometimes they work.
Now again, is it the system that's broken or the people running it? And if it's the people running it, then
It's both. The system, well, it's not the system broke. The system's working the way the system is designed to work. The system needs to be changed, and that's going to inevitably change who's going to be running it, who the people are there too. So when I'm thinking about
vice versa, but
you would say vice versa.
yeah, as far as changing the people would change the system.
Well, yeah, the people, we got to get people. I was going to say that next. You got to get people in those seats to change it.
Right.
But it also it also spawns people that are perpetuated when the system's messed up in the first place.
Man.
Okay, I'm with it. So okay, so this is I wonder, man, where is Tamika Meese? I really need to talk to her now because I'm thinking about organizations that's about to spur the action in a big way now.
Yeah, and Sister Tamika has definitely been, in NOCP. Has definitely been one of those organizations. I think and this is something I kind of line this story up to talk to her about this because she's mentioned about her, her husband who was formerly incarcerated, and this is a situation that impacts her directly, and I'm sure countless others. So, man, would definitely love to speak to her if we had the opportunity. But again, she could be out doing the work, man. There's always something going on in the community. And she's boots to the roots for sure.
Edna Statham, another new name in the chat. Appreciate you. Welcome. Says I took my nephew yesterday to register to vote. He was turned away because he was a felon. I'm going back to take him back today. People getting in the car today, bro.
Man,
30 degrees or not.
Hey, we voting today. We voting today.
Go get your coat. Go get your coat, Junior. We going.
Oh man, big shout out to everybody who rallied behind this, who went down because there were public hearings, who went down to the Supreme Court and spoke up, gave their testimonies. Hey, they're on the right side of history today.
That's real. Michael Watts says system changes need and better candidates needed. Yep, I feel the same way. On our end, we need to hold people more accountable, even if they are one of our own. Very true, especially if they're one of our own.
Man, but one step in that direction though. Again, now we have thousands of Nebraskans who can have their voices heard.
Most def. But I definitely agree on this. System changes needed, better candidates needed, and the holding accountable, the accountability part. is this is it. This is the
Yeah.
citizen. This is the fourth estate, the fourth branch of government, the media, the journalists that are supposed to be also holding people feet to the fire, holding people accountable by telling it. And so you can be a part of that too by being one of the army of citizen journalists. You don't just have to have a journalism degree. It's a First Amendment right to be able to report and speak on some of the things that are going on. So be a part of that. We're trying to set some things up for 2025 where we can assist citizen journalists more in order to get the word out. Because the more of us that are paying attention and speaking up and doing the research and putting it out in the public, the more they, like I said, man, the monitoring spirits are very important to what it is
Man.
that we're trying to do here in a big way. Because they getting what the people need them to go do, and we'll see. We'll see.
Man.
So, yep.
Thank you for that, camera. That was a huge breaking news moment, and we're here for it. I was definitely expecting that decision to come down a little later on in the day, not necessarily during the course of the show. But
Yeah.
man, I'm glad that it did. So we don't gotta wait till next week or the weekly wrap on Friday to really spread that information. So yeah, get out and vote, man. Get out and vote. As you see, if Precious reminded us, Precious, the one who told us, if it wasn't so important, they wouldn't do all the things that they're doing to stop it.
There you go. Mama God in the chat says they tried to suppress Georgia on some BS, and look, the South saying not on my watch. The South came out, Georgia came out and breaking records on how many
Mhm.
people did the early voting.
Man, and trust, I'm in the clubs DJing, and I'm just about everywhere in the streets and in the suites and the organizations, and I'm hearing the conversation everywhere, in the clubs, in the restaurants, everywhere. The people are paying attention to these elections and this election, and yeah, reasonably so.
Wow.
Very historic moment.
Can you? Yeah. We probably gonna be glued to the TV the rest of the day. This is probably gonna go national, like right off the bat, because like
Yeah,
I said, this has already been a very openly national story. People are wondering what the heck is going on in Nebraska, how they would pass a law and then just decide that they're not gonna do it, and this is huge. And on top of that, look at these dates, man. Shout out to Ashley Spivey
yeah,
who
two
uh, who,
days.
who put this out. Yeah, we got 2 more days to register. So I'm glad they hit it this morning. That means you got today, tomorrow, and then the 18th will be the deadline. So you got
Get
3 more
ready.
days, and then look at the dates, man. Like after October 18th, there's literally like a week and a half left before it's time to vote. So November 5th, we are so close to this, and there's about to be a so. I don't. This is one. I'm gonna take a break real quick, but this is one reason why I do not even pay attention to polls in this early in the game because
Mm,
I feel like polls just are there to rile you up to get you to believe, they're trying to steer you with the poll. I think it's a steering tactic. It's just like all the ads and stuff out there. They're trying to
mm,
steer you one way or another with these polls. They can't all be accurate. You can get some data on how many people early voted and stuff like that, but that's not going to tell you who's going to win because the day of is when you're going to get the most votes first of all. So if somebody telling you, well, Trump looks like he's gonna get it, nah, I don't believe all that quite yet, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think this is, and now look what's happening a week and a half, 2 weeks before it's time. You about to get an influx of votes from a certain sector and demographic.
man. But Maggie Miller Jenkins coming with an interesting comment as far as the next steps.
Hmm.
She says, "How are we going to help these people get to register? We just spoke about access to transportation being a key factor in service being available, which is very interesting. I think somebody did mention there is still time to register to vote and request an absentee ballot to be able to, mail in your vote and vote from home. So there is that option for those who are, struggling with transportation. But now's the time. Now's the time to look at the options. And I know, Paul, you want to jump into a quick break. We are about halfway through the second hour.
Hmm.
But I do want to, when we come back, talk about some of those efforts that are coming from Black Votes Matter, because a lot of people have questioned, in light of Brother Preston Love Jr.'s race and, challenge of Pete Ricketts.
He call him Peter Ricketts. Be cracking me up.
Peter Ricketts.
Little Peter Ricketts.
People asking what's going on with Black Votes Matter. What are they doing? In absence of their leadership. So, talk about that. Channel 6 has a pretty interesting write up on some of the efforts. It looks like they are expanding their efforts and gearing up for a final push. Here we are, weeks away from the election. What is Black Votes Matter doing?
One more thing I want to mention too is because we are working so closely with Diane Good Collins over at the 180 RAP in Metropolitan Community College reentry program. She is also a person that is talking to them regularly on a daily basis, bro. And that discussion comes up about the voting situation too. And they got resources and things that they do in order to help formerly incarcerated people or people that are just about to get out or people that are in right now. I mean, there's a lot that I'm sure I can't wait to give her a call a little later on to find out. Okay, here it is. What did you guys put in motion to help get people to register and so on and so forth? Because I really feel like that's going to be a factor. Everybody who's doing anything that has to do with formerly incarcerated people and avoiding reentry is going to be really on this tip. This little documentary film that I did for them recently really taught me about how many people, even if they weren't political at all in the first place, they knew enough about politics and law because of their own cases to be like, I wonder why the law is like that. Really questioning some stuff in a big way. One that stuck out to me was a brother who told me about that he got caught up in some stuff. This dude had some friends that tried to rob him. He shot him and they just got injured, and he got more time than he got if he would have killed them. Like the lawyer and everybody told him it would have been a different situation if you shot him and killed him, but since you shot him and wounded him, this is there's some more details to the case, but ultimately he spent more time in jail than he would have if he'd have killed him, and he thought that was crazy. He was like, what kind of laws allow for that? That's insane.
Yeah,
So
let's remember, brother Ernest Jackson is still serving time for a crime that wasn't even a crime. That it was ruled self-defense, and yet he's still behind bars.
Point is, a lot of people traditionally get very political when they have to deal with the legal system in the way that they do. So formerly incarcerated people are eager to get some laws changed and to get some people in that represent them, and they remember who came and talked to them. I talked to some formerly incarcerated people that were like naming senators by name that they talked to. They know who came to talk to them.
Yeah.
So they probably would get their vote. With that said, we're going to take a quick break and come right back. Yep. Marianne Williams says breaking news: the Nebraska Supreme Court has concluded felon voting rights will be upheld after the sentence is served.
Yep.
That's what we've been talking about here for the past 15 now because Kimra Snipes brought that news into us. She was excited. I couldn't tell what she was talking about. It was a hot mess. Go back and watch. It was funny. but it was good news. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Gang. First guy, Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddy the God, all of you, Chad Chimers, Ghost listeners, radio listeners, and monitoring spirits.
Yeah.
With you.
Watching you watch us.
Man, what a break. All right. Well, it is 8:38 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, it does not look like we're going to get our special guest today. That's too bad. We will reschedule her though, because we definitely want to talk to Miss Queen Tamika Meese and all the work that she's been doing as well. But I have a feeling, man, I'm kind of glad that we're not dropping a show on Friday this week in particular, because stuff's about to kick into gear in this next couple of days, bro.
What you
You
mean?
you about to see some action in the city. I'm trying to. I mean,
Oh
think about
yeah,
how many people that we talk to that we're dealing with that deal with prison reform, that are dealing directly with formerly incarcerated people that are trying to make some things happen as far as that's concerned. Black votes matter. Even I know you about to jump into them. There's like, what is Black votes matter about to do with this? They're gonna
man.
be is the bus gonna be taking them to go get registered? I mean,
Yes,
I predict we're gonna see some serious action in the next few days here.
man. Yeah. Actually, speaking of that, yeah, there's definitely some organizations, community members gearing up to push for the final vote. Again, we still have several days left to register, so the window is still open. And yeah, the people are seeing the clock tick down as we are just weeks away from the election. And Black Votes Matter is definitely gearing up. Again, as I mentioned before the break, Brother Preston Love Jr., who is challenging Pete Ricketts, Peter Ricketts, as he calls him, for the legislature, has really shifted his responsibilities and kind of the leadership to Pastor Hawkins, who I'm actually familiar with. He was a pastor of mine at Antioch Baptist, and he's kind of taken the helm at Black Votes Matter, and still looks forward to pushing forward. As of right now, they've been pounding the pavement, if you will, door knocking. According to this article from WOWT, it says up until this spring, they've been canvassing legislative districts 11 and 13, which are represented by Senator Terrell McKinney and current Senator Justin Wayne, respectively. But they've been in those areas knocking on doors, sending emails and text messages. And they say that they've since added more people to help with going door to door, pounding the pavement, boots to the roots, if you will, but are actually looking to broaden the areas across the city where they are working. Again, not just black folks and black votes in North Omaha, but as we're learning, really all throughout the city, communities have spread. And since then, again, Get Out the Vote director, Pastor Dwayne Hawkins, is saying we've increased our mobilization in terms of partnering with different entities in the community for voter registration. Just today, we just completed our voter registration here at Park North Tower, and we are making our way through every OHA tower conducting voter registration. Hawkins said they're continuing voter registration events through this deadline this Friday. So definitely look out for other events, other pop-ups and things like that. But in regards to travel and transportation, to your point, Paul, yes, the buses will be getting gassed up this election season. Both Black Votes Matter and the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance Metropolitan Omaha will also be offering rides to the polls. They are still looking for volunteers to help with both of those efforts. So again, if you're someone who's questioning what Black Votes Matter or just want to get involved, you can do so by emailing Pastor Hawkins at weareantiochomaha.org. Again, that's Pastor Hawkins at weareantiochomaha.org. So again, opportunity to get out, get active, and especially in the light of the new breaking news. There's a whole thousands and thousands of Nebraskans and Omahans out there waiting to be engaged.
There you go, Precious in the chat. We appreciate you getting up with us this morning, Miss McKesson.
Yeah.
Says we will be giving rides to the polls on October 26th from North Omaha campus office from 9 to 1.
Okay.
So appreciate that. She says last day to register to vote is Friday by mail and in person at the election office by October 25th. So again, some important dates there. Shout out to Ashley Spivey who put this flyer out that has these important dates on there. We'll definitely do that. I like the way that it says by mail, email, fax, or online. If y'all got, there's no excuse. Even people with a fax machine can register. The deadline's on the 18th, so it's coming up. All this is happening now. Definitely get with her, Miss Precious McKesson, on if you need a ride, and if you need to send somebody that needs a ride, whatever it is, definitely hit her up and do that. So just appreciate that very much. What's Mama God talking about? Looks interesting. Paul and
Yeah,
Buddy.
she said she sent a Associated Press report to the Friends of First Sky page so we can spread the information ASAP. So yeah, if you can, if you're a part of the Friends of First Sky page, again, looks like Mama God shared that Associated Press, which is huge. It's already making the Associated Press, so you see that news is making its way through the news wires, if you will, and onto the national and maybe even international stage. So yeah, tell a friend, spread the word. There might be individuals out there who are just waiting for this news to see whether they can vote or not. So
we most definitely been waiting on that. She said, "Time for some action." What was your rhyme,
Man,
Mama
time
God?
for some action. Yeah, what she said.
Yeah, where's Mama God
Oh,
line at?
man,
Or
we packed it and ready for some action or something.
yeah, she had a nice rhyme for it.
Yeah, I like that. Might need
Yeah,
to be a shirt.
there you go. Yeah, appreciate appreciate everybody who's checked in here. I also saw Miss Peyton Zyla saying good morning to us this morning. So
Yeah, I saw
appreciate
a
you.
Peyton in there. Good
Yeah,
morning.
that's what's up. That's what's up. Wells Lavelle in the house. Well, you've been
Hey.
traveling. He said, come out to the Black, Brown, and Red meetup at Primo's tomorrow evening.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, let's definitely get down and support this brother doing his thing as well. And yeah, man, we're always looking for moments of ways to solidify some solidarity. Shout out to brother Lavelle Wells who's making that bridge happen with the Black, Brown, and Red community. He says explanation of red to include native community. If you didn't
Man,
know,
big time.
Primos gets down. Hit Primos up for sure, and definitely this is a good time to get over there and to meet up with the brother. I need to catch up with you, man. You've been out here hopping, cloud hopping, hanging out, shouting what's his name?
And Charlemagne the God.
Charlemagne the God,
Yeah.
and things. So I appreciate and can't wait to hear about your travels and stuff like that too, man. It's always good to go see how something's done somewhere else and bring it back home. So appreciate
Man,
it.
big time. Big time.
But Michael Watts says, pray that new voter ID does not become a backup plans to reject those who are returning citizens.
Big time. Great
Thank,
point.
thank you for
Great
that
point.
reminder.
Yeah.
The new you got to have the ID. You can still go get it from the DMV. I'm not sure how long it's going to take them to get it back to you, but
Yeah.
got to keep that in
Definitely.
mind if you don't have that together.
And thinking of those who are formerly incarcerated, I mean, you've been locked up. You might come out, your ID expired. You may not have gotten that updated and things like that. So yeah, that's a good point. It's a good
From
point.
from what I understand, you can use an expired ID for a
Really?
license. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I believe so. I believe so. I'm 80. You know how I be using my
Yeah,
percentages.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
80% sure that you can.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. Precious, let us know. Is that fact
You
check
said
that?
you can use paper. All you need is a number on office. So you can, if you just go get it done, they might not send it back to you, but you can take the paper that you get there when
Mm-hmm.
you
Attempt.
when you get it. Right.
Yeah. And
That's
they waive the fee. So if you do go in, tell them this is
right.
for voting process or purposes, they will, waive the fee for you. So
Yep. Yep. So yeah, some good things. Like I said, man, it's gonna be topic of conversation here for the next few days, for real, for real. I don't
okay.
think that people understand what the impact is on
Man,
this.
huge, huge, huge. Precious also says, kind of echoing what you're saying, that you can use an expired ID and the addresses don't have to match. So,
So I'm 100% sure that you can use an expired ID.
and
Appreciate
we're
Precious.
100% sure that if you're a felon, you can vote. So, there you
Hey.
go. There you go.
More information says if you need to, you can go to the vital statistics and tell them you need it for voting, and it's free. Yep.
Okay.
There you go. Some more
There you
information
go.
on that.
Yeah.
This is going to be the topic, man. It's going to be floating around a lot, and like I said, I think there's going to be. I know for a fact that I'm about to throw a couple folks in the car and make sure they go get registered.
Man,
I think
man.
they're all going to do it.
There you go.
She
There you
says if
go.
you need your birth certificate, you can go to Vital Statistics and tell them you need it for voting purposes. So that's okay, right? So if you need your birth certificate for your ID, here's how you do that. Go to Vital Statistics, tell them you need it for your voting purposes, and they will give it to you for free, so you can get your ID. So
Okay. And
yeah,
where is Vital Statistics? Is that downtown? Where can people go?
yeah, I'm not sure. Just look up Vital Statistics. And make sure you get that. And this is all great information because I really feel like this is what's going to happen. This kind of information that's happening is it's not just a matter of like now you can vote. You might have 2 or 3 or 4 stops you got to make. So
Man, oh yeah, it's a process.
fill up the bus, fill up the bus. Um, yeah, I appreciate that. Mama God says she said drive folks. She said she gonna drive folks. She said, this is so funny. I can't have fast C, but I really can't to drive folks to DMV commission office or boxes. Just don't tell them I can't see. So even Mama God will give you a ride.
Man,
Yeah,
man.
man. Yeah, I appreciate that. I wanna get a few things in. We got some haps and stuff to talk about here towards the
Yep,
end of
yep,
the show.
yep.
It's 8:48 right now. And if you believe in the concept of time,
Just about 10
uh,
minutes.
about 10 minutes left, 12 minutes left. So you got a little lightning round you want to drop on them real quick before we get into it?
Yeah. A few stories to kind of just get out the way really quickly. More so announcements. Again, that's really the big news of the day is this Supreme Court decision.
Gang,
But
gang.
there are man, gang. But there are some things to look out for to be aware of. And one of the big things is Omaha Mayor Gene Stothert, Mean Gene. This is coming out of WOWT announces a schedule for annual town hall series. So again, there hasn't been many opportunity and actually fewer and fewer opportunity for the public to speak up and kind of share their gripes and what's grinding their gears. But it looks like Omaha Mayor Gene Stark that has rolled out over the next month and a half. Actually, all meetings run from 6 to 7:30. So hopefully they're falling out of your work schedule and you'll have the opportunity to again come to these town hall meetings and speak to leadership. Mayor Jean Stothert released a schedule for her town hall series Tuesday. So again, Stothert has hosted this annual tour of public meetings every fall during her terms, uh, minus a 2-year hiatus during the COVID pandemic. The mayor said that some of the main topics that she hopes to discuss with citizens are public safety, employment, business growth, urban core and neighborhood investment, financial management, and opportunity creation. So these are some topics that I'm sure all of you have some input on. So, here's your opportunity to speak up, speak out, have your voices heard. That's what we're all about. Also happening, speaking out and making announcements. Pete Festerson, again, Omaha City Council president, has announced that he will not run for mayor. He will not be challenging Mayor Jean Stothert in her bid for reelection. That he will actually be going for reelection on the city council. So, reminding us that this after elections next month, it's not over. And right after those elections, we're gearing up for now a round of local elections, the city council, mayor, county commission. There's some things to look out for coming up in next year's election. So there you have it. There you have it. And then also, last but not least, something very interesting as far as these political signs being stolen. I'm not sure who's the culprit. I don't even know what the repercussions of that is, for a political sign being stolen. But, when you go grab your political signs and you're showing support for the candidates that you like to support, maybe grab a couple extra, maybe 2 or 3 extras to keep in mind. Because as you see, there's some these look like young folk too, going around stealing political signs. Maybe some of those young Republicans. You never know.
And keep your ring cam on too.
Yeah, that part too. That part too.
And here, and this is one to crack me up. Now they have been putting out the red state signs now, which makes more sense to me than these red dots. Just making these, and then it's already. I told you like how ignorant I think this red dot is in the first place, and now they're gonna put a Trump swoop on it on top of it. So it's like I didn't think it get even more ignorant than it is, and it's even more ignorant than it is. So this is not how you. I got way more respect for the Republicans that are putting out the flag with the whole state on it because their point is it's a red state.
Right.
Right. I couldn't even articulate how ignorant I thought it was that people were putting red dots out. It's just crazy. She says, Precious says, I have a nice surprise for my signs.
Okay. Come Mr. Precious signs if you want to.
You know, electrify the signs. You can shock now.
Not the electric sign.
Oh man.
Well, yeah. So that does it for the lightning round, man. Again, the biggest news of the day is of course the Supreme Court decision.
There you go. We're gonna go ahead and we got about 8 minutes left. I kind of want to jump into a few more haps. Also, Marlon here says, can you talk about the Benson football team? There's been a lot of discourse about the situation the past 24 hours. We kind of talked about that a little earlier in the chat. And buddy, is there any more information there you wanted to bring out on that on the team?
There are a few posts, about it from the coach actually calling out for help. But again, the big situation for those who might not know is Benson High School has canceled their last couple of games because the level of engagement, the level of activity isn't where it needs to be.
Mhm.
This is actually a shout out to Marlon Harrison. He reposted this on Friends of. This is from head coach of Benson football, Bugs Lathan. Says, as a current football coach at Benson High, bringing in a high profile coach won't address the underlying issue. We've consistently had only about 23 players at games and as few as 16 at practices. Benson is no longer a football centric school, and the current demographics reflect that reality. For those commenting, I ask that you consider the safety concerns involved. Our players are averaging 60 to 80 snaps per game, which is far too much for high school athletes. That said, there are positive developments on the horizon. We will be launching a youth football program next year, Junior Bunnies, and we're actively scouting middle schoolers who have ambitions for college. Again, this isn't just about youth sports and running around on the field or on the court. This is about real opportunities in the future for our young folks. Bugs Lathan went on to say, our goals go beyond just football. We're committed to setting these players up for long-term success. But what do I know? I've only been coaching them for 2 seasons. So again, this is a situation where young folk in our community could be, missing out on some opportunity. Again, not every athlete goes on to be a professional, but a lot of athletes go on to be in leadership positions in corporate leadership positions in the community, as far as police officers, firefighters, people who understand what it means to be a part of a team. Kind of those intangibles are the big thing about sports. So, yeah, support. Shout
Mm.
out to the Missing Bunnies.
Yeah, shout out to Marlon Harrison for putting this in the chat, man. He kind of referenced a few things that he thought might be the issue and the problem with the low engagement. I just think that maybe the landscape is changing. I think also Benson is not really focusing on sports as much.
Yeah,
But there's still got to be a way we can do like Precious saying, how can we uplift these young men? Because I was looking at the pictures of the Benson Bunnies. There's a lot of young brothers in on the team
yeah,
there, bro.
yeah.
So this is of course again going to affect our community hardest in a lot of ways. So it's messed up. Yeah, kind of messed up. Rome's Reviews has Rome's Reviews has a suggestion: flag, no tackle football. I wonder if that might be a option down the line. I'm not sure. But they are thinking they did mention the safety of the football team, I don't watch football enough to know what they mean by how many snaps, but I can
It's
imagine that
dangerous.
they probably put people on the bench, and you don't if they got a limited amount of people out there, then they're probably playing the whole game, which
Yep.
is probably pretty dangerous and taxing on them as far as high school students are concerned. So they don't have enough people that they can replace out, and they're sitting on the bench. They can wait and play the other half of the game or whatever. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean it's dangerous. It's dangerous. That the amount of high level impacts on the brain, CTE, all of those things are real, and those dangers are only amplified when you have to get into those high numbers of snaps and just repetitions. So yeah, it is. It's a real situation. It's a real situation.
like I said, appreciate you, brother Harrison, for bringing that out. Always got your ear to the ground when it comes to school and the kids from the inside, and we
Yeah,
value
man.
your contribution and opinions on that for sure. So keep putting it in, friends of First Cut Omaha. Really appreciate it. A couple hats before we get out of here. Just want to make sure that you understand that Dan Osborne is going to be at Jackson's Fair Deal Cafe. I always kind of want to bring it out when somebody running is coming to North Omaha in particular. He'll be there. He's been in the news pretty heavy lately, and commercials everywhere as well. Really kind of um, progressed in his run in a big way. But
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wants to come and do a meet and greet. This is tonight, 6 o'clock, Jackson's Fairdale Cafe. You know where Jackson's Fairdale is on 24th Street. Go check it out. Go check him out if you're so inclined. Also, wanted to remind everybody this is a Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
Yes, yes.
and definitely got to check it out. I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna get checked myself
There you go, man.
because the men get breast cancer too. Approximately 1 out of every 100 breast cancer diagnoses in the U.S. are men. An estimated 530 men will die from MBC this year. That's more than the number of men who will die from testicular cancer.
Mm.
See that?
And the percentage actually could be higher if more men got tested.
Most def.
More men were aware. That's a possibility.
Yep. We did not get to speak to Tamika Meese today, unfortunately, but I think that she. Oh no, this is the fall social night. No, this is what she sent me right here. So this is
Mhm.
the NOC sponsored by Nebraska for Us and also the North Omaha Community Partnership. This is the 17th, which is tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Meet at Primo's. You're all invited. Join us for our biannual network event. your opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals, build new relationships, and rekindle old ones. Social nights are inclusive spaces. Bring your business cards and any event promotions for us to display. See you on the patio.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
it's cold, then you have to see me inside. But we'll see.
That part. That part.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Primos for hosting a lot of these things too, man. Primos gets
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
big time.
I was kind of seeing that Primo's was turning out to be the spot, man.
Yo,
So
Primos be having the car show each week too, bro. The lowriders be out.
yeah, man, you speaking my language. Speaking my
Man,
language. But yep. Really quickly, as you see, we just posted the NOCP uh, website in the chat. So again, we weren't able to speak to Sister Tamika, but if you want to kind of look and familiarize yourself with the work that the North Omaha Community Partnership is doing, definitely check them out. There's a diaper giveaway. So any single mothers or young family members, or really anybody that has young folk at home struggling to pay for diapers and things like that. There's a diaper bank that they have. There's a scholarship. A lot of things that again Sister Tamika and the NOCP is doing. So check them out. Check them
there
out.
you go. Also, can't forget about the training that's coming up. This is actually happening in 10 days. So to the 26th, keeping children safe from lead poisoning. Shout out to the city who's putting on this lead training on. It's from 11 to 12 at UNO Barbara White's Community Engagement Center. There'll be a free lunch for in-person attendees. Definitely check them out. They have a phone number you can call, 402-731-3045. Definitely check them out because this is something that is free to the public, and we really can't knock out getting the lead out of the land in North Omaha. That's one thing I feel like we can actually make happen.
Man,
But it takes everybody to go ahead and finish up what they've already started, and get some tools and tips on how to keep the children safe going forward. So shout out to them for that. This is their friends at First Sky Omaha as well. You can hit that QR code or give them a call at 402-731-3045 to register. Keeping children safe from lead poisoning happens Saturday, October 26th. Mark it on your calendar. Appreciate that very much. Also, before we get going too, Ashley Spivey's got a door knocking session coming up. If you know, then you saw the video. Excuse me. See, if you saw the video, we were able to go out and do a little door knocking with her to see what she does, how she handles herself door to door. It's really great to see. She's got another session coming. When I pulled up on her that time, I thought, where's everybody else at? It was just her out there. So
man,
this time she's trying to get some heads out with her. Saturday, October 19th, meet at Benson Park at 2 p.m. and go out doing some door knocking with Ashley Spivey. Shout out to her working with us on her campaign as well. So appreciate everybody that values what it is that we do over here and decides that they want to get to our audience by working with us. You can hit us up at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com anytime. If you have any campaigns or any advertising you want to do with us, let us know. Appreciate that very much. It's already 9:01 minute
man,
past our agreed time, but I just wanted to take the time there to really kind of big up some of those events that are happening as well. We already talked about Mr. K's Christmas party coming up, first annual support this brother. This is this is today. Registration opens today, so
hmm
you can go to his spot and register and get in on this event as well. Also, something else that got sent to me: the 11th annual Impact Luncheon, North Omaha Community Care Council, the power of our vote. Keynote speaker Anthony Ashby Fashe. Am I saying that right? You know how I be murdering names. President of CHI Health, Emmanuel. So it'll
Okay.
be interesting. I think it'll be an interesting conversation to have for sure. That's Friday, November 1st from 11 to 1. Mark that on your calendars as well. Again,
Man,
all these will be in Friends of First Sky Omaha coming up.
yeah, that's something to look out for. Remember, again, Douglas County did recognize racism as a public health um, crisis.
Boy,
So
oh
yeah,
boy.
yeah.
Something else going on, African Culture Connection. It's going to be music on the lawn on the venue of 75 North, Monday, October 21st. This is coming up from 6 to 7. Bring your blankets, lawn chair, and family for an evening of fun. Kind of close, bro. You can bring your space heater, bring a couple things. This might be a little chilly out.
Yeah.
Turn this bring your igloo, bring all your stuff.
Man,
Bring all your
oh, you
things.
never know though. Omaha might be 100 out there. You never know.
It might be 100 degrees there. You're
Yeah,
right.
you never know, man.
You're right about that. Also, we already talked about this earlier, but I wanted to give him a little love. Oh, wait a minute. Is the fashion show already passed? The
Yeah, I think
fashion
that
show's
was
tomorrow.
okay.
No, I'm sorry, November 17th, the fashion show is. So we're still in October. This is November 17th. This is down the way a little bit. Healing Ribbons Fashion Show, the art of healing stories, stitches in the sacred. And this is a indigenous. We're in Indigenous Month right now, so
Yeah.
this is a something to be looking forward to here. I'll post this again at a later time when we get a little closer to the date. But you can mark it on your calendar, November 17th. Support our native brothers and sisters with their fashion show that's coming up as well. So there you go. Also, the black, brown, and red. Like I said, we already talked about this because Brother Lavelle Wells was in. But this is happening tomorrow night as well, the 17th at Primo's. Again, holding another important event. Shout out to Primo's. Definitely go check that out. This is the black, brown, and red event that is hosted by Lavelle Wells. It's going down tomorrow at Primo's at 6 to 8. So just show up, come on down and check it out and have a conversation and bridge them gaps, man. We need all the folks we can get together, like-minded people. So that's what's up. RG asking for the third hour again. Ain't gonna get it. Ain't gonna get it. Kimber says, I miss the days of sitting at the headquarters seeing Paul and Buddy coming in. I know, man. I know. The
Yeah.
Malcolm X Memorial Foundation days. We used to go to the headquarters over there, 30th and Lake. Scooters. Shout out to Julian Young and them. And I miss getting there and tapping in with everybody on that. That's what's up.
Yeah. It's back open
Precious
too.
is back open too. I know we just need to get down.
Yeah.
Precious is saying Speaker Hakeem Jeffries will be here Sunday for Tony Vargas big event at Big Mama's. She
Okay.
said she'll post the link as well. Yeah, put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Appreciate that very much. So lots going on, but I think what's going to be going on for the rest of the week here is this big news, man. The Nebraska Supreme Court gang decided it was, hey, you breaking the law. The law is the law. If you got a felony on your record, you can vote. And according to Ashley Spivey's calendar note, couple days left to register.
Man, so
yeah,
I'll let your peoples get your peoples, y'all. Get your peoples.
Yep. And that's it, man. We're gonna holler at you later, buddy. You got some words for the people?
Yeah, kind of breaking news. Also, camera dropping. Apparently, Ricky Smith is running for city council. Is that a thing?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What's up. Sorry, Pops. We'll come back to you in a sec.
Yeah. Ricky running for city council. Okay, so
Yeah.
more things to talk about. Again, catch us on Friday for the weekly wrap as we wrap up the week with our thoughts and stories that are happening in between now and Monday. So yeah, if you haven't already registered for that, please go ahead and do so. The weekly wrap is going off quite wonderfully. I say myself off to a good start. So yeah, tap in with that. Getting a lot of good feedback on that.
Yeah.
And catch the same time, same place, live here on First Sky Omaha in the morning, Mondays and Wednesdays. And in the meantime, between time, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube page. Again, we have a lot of content coming that way, some shows, some other in between content that we're working on, and just some ideas swirling that we're very excited about and looking forward to sharing with you. And it's all going down on YouTube. So again, stay on top of First Sky Omaha in the morning and everything else coming with First Sky Omaha at our YouTube page, and also very, very close to this website rolling out with some fanfare and things like that. So very excited about that. And So thank you for the support. Stay on top of what it is that we have coming up. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away.
Pops is in the chat saying because of the Supreme Court decision, today's show will now become historic. Wonderful show. So thank you. Have a great week, fam. See you on Monday. Appreciate you, Pops. That's what I'm thinking, man. Any kind of breaking news that's happened at the time. Tamika Renee just hit us up. Tamika Meese said, I apologize for missing today's show. I'm under the weather. So yeah, I figured that was the case. She's been really good at communication here, so I figured something was up, and I was really hoping and praying nothing was wrong. So as she was saying right now, she's a little under the weather today and couldn't make it, but we'll definitely book her on another show and have more discussion with her about what she's doing with NOC in a big way. So that's what's up. We'll go ahead and get out of here, man, before we move into this third hour that RG's be trying to get us
egging us on.
We'd be 20% in the third hour anyway, so by the time we get out of here. Appreciate you allowing us to go past our agreed upon time to stop so we can get some of this information out. It's all about the information that we share with each other. If you miss any parts of the show, please go back and check it out on Facebook and YouTube. Check out the chats within each of those platforms as well. Lots of good stuff you guys were saying today. Lots of good comments, lots of good information. especially when we got the breaking news about the Nebraska Supreme Court decision. Then we got Miss McKesson jumping in, giving us some action items. It's time for some action, like they said.
Man,
Time for some action.
some action.
Yes, right. So I appreciate you guys coming in on that as well. Appreciate everybody who is a reoccurring member of the channel. I'm getting more people that are subscribing to us. $10 people, the $25 people, the $50 people. We got a long way to go before this is sustainable, but you guys really help us continue this thing with your donations as well. So go to firstsky.omaha.com, hit the support, join button now. We got a new button. It's called join. Hit the join button and become a recurring member and sponsor of the channel. And if you have any needs for your campaigns or your business ad needs or whatever else, you can hit us up as well. Just hit us directly at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com, and we'll definitely tap back in and talk to you about doing something about a little promotion for you. So let us know. We really appreciate everybody who's done this already. And all you, the Chad Chimers, all you, the Ghost listeners, and all of you, the monitoring spirits.
We see you.
Appreciating you more and more these days. We hope to continue to make change. Take care of yourselves. Like I said, it's getting cool. So, go ahead and burn the dust off of your heaters.
Man.
Get
the furnaces going.
Get the furnaces up and running. And yeah, we'll definitely get with you on Monday. So take care of yourselves. And again, look out for the weekly wrap that drops on Friday. And anything else that is on your hearts and mind, please put them in Friends of First Sky Omaha. That's where we review first before we go into what it is we're going to talk about before each show. So thanks once again. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red and